Spacey shit.
What's going on, everybody? Justin Schwarz here, live Thursday, March 10th, 8:03. And I forgot to pull our special guest off for our big intro here.
Nobody saw that. It's fine.
I don't know what you saw. You didn't see what you saw.
Nobody saw it. It's fine.
But anyway, what's going on, everybody? How are you? Thank you for tuning in and joining us at the DJ's Guru studio here. My man, DJ Switch.
What up?
What's up, buddy?
Just living the life. Another day at the office, as they say.
You are. DJ
Yeah.
Switch has got a DJ's Guru black on black snapback hat coming. And when's it coming?
Friggin' tomorrow, the day after the stream. Like, typical U.S. mail type
service,
stuff, right?
Typical service, right?
Whatever. It's fine. It'll be here tomorrow. It's gonna look dope on stream next week. It'll be all good.
Yeah, I'm excited to see it. You'll be the first one. So anyway, thank you for everyone watching on Facebook, YouTube, Twitch. On the replay, we appreciate it. Thanks for tuning in. If you have any questions, definitely drop them down. What's up, Manny? What's up, Jeremiah? And we've got a very special. I'm gonna dive right into it, man. I'm hot. I'm ready to go tonight. We got a great guest, and we got a lot of cool stuff to talk about. So, hi, Jason. And we're ready to go. So, without any further ado, I'm going to bring out our special guest, and we'll just kind of dive right in. I'll tell you what. I'll give you a little story. The whole thing's organic, right? And I think this might have happened to everybody. Quarantine happened, and we all were like, what's going on? We got to find something else to do. Whether it was like business-wise or just personal, like how to kill time. And a lot of people went to YouTube, right? And I swear, I never heard of Cleveland Terry before in my entire life. I've been doing this for my whole life. Never heard of him once. And then all of a sudden, I start doing YouTube videos, right? The first time I never did them before the quarantine. That's when I started this whole thing. But my algorithm said, you need to follow and you need to subscribe to Cleveland Terry. I'm like, who the hell is Cleveland Terry? And I'll tell you what.
Oh, you don't even know.
Then we did a show with Pioneer, the DJ S11, with my buddy Drew Bach. And then I see Cleveland Terry does a show with Drew Bach. I'm like, who the hell's Cleveland Terry? Who is this guy? Everywhere I am. Anyway.
Dude,
so
you don't even
I watched
know.
a couple of his videos. He's a really cool dude. And you meet some people that are not the same as they are on their YouTube page, or they'll be just, they won't even talk to you. Maybe they're just completely introverts. Nothing against them. That's sometimes what it is. But anyway, I happened to be at the Mobile Entertainment Expo, and who comes walking on in but Cleveland Terry? I'm like, I know this guy. I'm like, oh, Nikes. It's Cleveland. And, we had, the next thing you know, we're talking for like an hour with my buddy Jeff from DJ Crosstalk, and here he is. I just snuck him in. Boom. And it was pretty cool, right? Like, it was just a really cool conversation. We had a great talk, and this guy and I'm the same way. He's the same guy. I guarantee you, in all forms of his life, he's the same person. And I respect that. And the guy just had a good energy. As soon as he walked in, I'm like, oh, I know that guy. Like, and it was fun. So Cleveland, what's happening? Thank you for joining us. Really appreciate you stopping in.
It is good to be here.
How are you, and where are you coming to us from?
I am coming to you live from Southern California. I live in right outside of LA, so Simi Valley, so Ventura County. But I've born and raised in Southern California, not from Cleveland, not from Ohio. Actually from Southern California. Yes. And the funny thing is, so you kind of did the same thing that I did. When we were standing there kind of chatting with one another, I'm literally like, why do I know this guy? Who is this guy? I feel like I know this guy. And then as you started talking, I'm like, oh, I recognize the accent. All right, there we go. Now I know who he is. So it was good.
You have an accent. I don't have an accent.
I speak with perfect pronunciation.
You do, actually. And I'll tell you, because I was a national sales rep, and I am from the fantastic state of New York, Empire State, Excelsior. We do have somewhat of an accent, I've heard. So I've worked on trying to not, there's just sometimes people don't want to, they think you're hustling them if you have a New York accent, So,
well,
anyway.
To be fair, I've always gotten the comments about how proper that I speak. When I was a little kid, I had speech impediment. So I actually went to speech therapy for like 3 or 4 years. So it's kind of ingrained into my brain now that this is just like my S's are very specific. That took a lot of time because I used to slur them. So yeah, I'm proud of the way I speak.
All right. So it's good that you kind of went backwards really quick, because I want to do the origin story, because people see, like if you watch my show, I'm open, but I haven't watched you enough to know what you share and what you don't share with the audience. And I try to talk to people like yourself and like how did it happen, which is interesting because we said you really never did it before. And then all of a sudden you're doing it, and you're doing it like you've been doing it your whole life. Right. So where did you start? Where is your training? What do you love as far as when you were a kid, and how did it get you to where you are today? Like, what's the story, and how'd you get here, bud?
I always say my story is simple, and then I start to talk about my story, and then I realize that, like, wow, a lot of stuff I've done in the course of my years. But make a long story short, I started DJing when I was about 12 years old. I got in with a group of dancers because I was like a b-boy, hip hop and all that stuff. Got in with the group and had a dancing crew, and obviously you're in a b-boy crew, you got somebody that's a DJ. So I made really good friends with our main DJ. His name was DJ Clean Cut, and he kind of showed me how to DJ. So we learned on, vinyl. That's where I grew up, turntables and vinyl. After that point, I started to, rap and dance and all those things. So that's always been in my history. Like music and dance and DJing has always been a part of me. let's see here. A few years later, I had kind of stopped DJing, but I was still dancing, so I was doing that kind of semi-professional. And then I I randomly joined a bar mitzvah company. I was dancing at a nightclub with my friends, and this dude comes up to me like, "Hey, I like what you're doing," which is weird. It was like pause. So he gives me his card, and then I throw it in the drawer. Don't even think about him anymore. Then it was like, I don't know, 6 months later, I'm cleaning out my drawer and this card pops up, and I had roommates and everything. I'm like, I think I'm going to give this guy a call. So I gave him a call, went into there, and it was a bar mitzvah company. Actually, you should know because you're in New York. So they were originally called Heart to Heart, and Heart to Heart was a mainstay in New York for the longest time. I don't know how they are now. Gone?
I think they got. I mean, I don't know. I really don't know, but I think at one point they got sold, and then they were the only company you heard about, and then you never heard about them again.
Right,
you know,
exactly.
like that. That's kind of what happened. So yes, but yes, they were the one for sure.
Gotcha. So yeah, so then I did that for God, it was like 10 years where I learned how to MC. So the guy that was there trained all his people. So I learned how to MC there. Which was actually very, very important because I will tell people, a lot of people don't understand like the skill sets involved in emceeing and kind of walking into a cold room and demanding, respect and attention, like all that stuff. Once you learn that and learn the tricks of the trade, you can put that into any part of your life. So I was like a sales rep for a municipal revenue company. I could still use those same tactics to get what I needed. So I emceed for about 10 years. In the meantime, while I was emceeing, I had a hip hop group and the name was Check 1 2. So we got signed to a deal. Everything was great. Thought we were going to be rock stars. And then the deal fell apart because they do that sometimes. They do that a lot of times. And so at that point, I'm sitting there probably at around, 25 years old. And I'm like, okay, so what are we going to do now? We had been really pushing hard on the album and all that stuff. And it was just like, we're just tired. So we just kind of stopped. And few years later, I got married, had kids and all that stuff. My wife was a farmer rep, so I didn't need to do any part-time gigs. My best friend who was in the hip hop group with me still stayed with Heart to Heart. And then he said, you know what? I'm thinking about going off on my own. I got a real big buzz. My name is big out there. People are telling me I need to go off on my own. So I kind of want to do it. So I'm thinking about, bringing this guy in. And I'm like, dude, don't do that. If you're serious about it, let's do it together. So I spent the next 8 years doing both normal 9 to 5 job. And then also doing all the sales work and all the meetings. So basically, I'm working from 7:30 in the morning until like 11 o'clock at night, for like 8 years straight, to build this company. And then when it finally got to a place where I didn't need to do both anymore, like I was making what I was making at my other job, then I left. And that was at that point now, it's like 15 years later. So, the rest is kind of history with that. As far as the YouTube stuff, because I was always very artistic, I was always into, any creative avenues. I spent so much time building this company that I was just like burnt out and I needed something for myself. So I decided, I'm like, I kind of want to do a YouTube channel. I'd seen a whole bunch of YouTube, the Casey Neistats and all those people. And I'm like, I think I want to do vlogs. I'm not really sure. And I started with the first video I ever did was a lapel video. It was like lapel microphone and a little, thing that I got for my camera. Color grading was absolutely atrocious. Some of the worst stuff I've ever seen in my life, but you're new. You kind of think, okay, well, everybody's color grading. So I got to color grade too. So let me put this LUT over this. And it was just horrible. But the content was good. It was just, new and I was raw. So, started doing that. Next video was like a iPhone video. And then finally I kind of started thinking to myself, you know what, maybe I'll start to do my vlogs. So I started doing the gig logs and, I threw it out there to all my friends. Hey, check it out. I got a gig log. And I put it out there and, people watched it. I'm like, cool, I've made it. And then like the next video came out and it was like nobody and nobody after that. So I started to realize right then and there that you can't really count on people to support you because they won't. I'm sure, Justin, you're a retailer. I mean, how many of your like close personal family and friends are actually like, trying to,
you know what's funny? I come from a family of DJs. My mother, my father, their mother, their father, they played on like what's Victorolas? Like a Victorola. Like they were mixing in the 1800s. Like we go back. That's what it feels like sometimes, right? But anyway, enough about me.
Yeah. So at a certain point, I just kind of said, I'm done. I'm over trying to get people that I know to because I started the channel, especially the help stuff, because I got tired of answering people's questions. And so I just said, you know what, I'll just put this out there so then nobody will ask me. I can just refer them to my videos. So
I'm laughing because that's like one of the main reasons why I kept saying, because I did that. I answer questions for a living. So I'm like, man, if I had a video,
yes,
we just put it out there, and we could just, hey, you know what? Watch this video and call me back in like 10 minutes.
Exactly. Yeah. And so I started, so the gig logs were fine, but the problem was the gig logs were, they're a lot of work, and the payoff just wasn't there. Like the views weren't there. I mean, like a friend of mine, DJ Bar can do a gig log and literally get 10,000 views in like a day. Like that wasn't mine. So I started to go into gear reviews, and I used, because I own a multi-op. I'm a multi-op DJ company in Southern California. So I had a whole bunch of gear. So I said, you know what? I'll just start reviewing the gear because I'm telling people how to use it anyway. So let's just start talking about it. Anytime we bought something, I would review it. And for the most part, it was fine. But, I didn't have anybody knocking on my door to try to give me gear or, have me review their stuff. So I just kind of...
I'm the only one that does that. I knock on people's doors. Right. Only the talented people, though.
So then when NAMM came out, and this was like 2000, because this is my fourth year or fifth year. I don't even know. Quarantine changed everything. I don't even know what the years are. But I think I'm
last
around
time there was a
4 to 5
regular
years.
NAMM was 2020.
Yeah, 2020 was the last NAMM that I went to, exactly. So the year before... that was the year that Rain came out with the Rain 72 and the 12s. Like that was a big deal. So I went to NAMM, and I think it might have been my first NAMM show. I got in under a friend of mine's pass, and he was like, it was like Mexico Day, something, Guatemala, something. It was like his little record store in Mexico. But he got me in, so I appreciate him. But I went there specifically because I wanted to see these Rain 12s and the Rain 72. And did you go to NAMM that year?
That's actually one of the only time I've ever been there, and it literally changed my world when I saw how sprawling the industry was and how little of it how big, you realize that you're just a speck, and then I'm like, wow, there's also so much opportunity.
You mean like
so
like
everything
Mex?
kind of happens for a reason.
Like Mex, you get to Mex as the DJ, and you're like, oh. So it's really about the photo booths. Okay, cool.
It's a different kind of show. They're building it up, man, No,
you got to start.
But it was a photo booth expo took on the Mobile Beach show and had and they had a section.
And it was definitely a section. A slice.
I don't lie, man. It was good, but
I enjoyed it.
Overall, it was a good experience.
I agree. And, people like us, unfortunately or fortunately, need to be at these things because people need to see you. And so I know this about it, which is why I went. I was on the fence for a couple of weeks, because all of the people that were supposed to be going with me, they all flaked on me. So I had to drive to Vegas alone, which was a little harder. But, it was fine. We did the job. But all of the people that I knew were there, so it was easy enough to kind of.
That's fun. It's fun to like people that you don't see a lot, and I don't know who I was saying this to the other day, but it's like almost the people that I see at trade shows and stuff. It's like when you go and you have dinner at a wedding, and like you start to know all the photographers, and you start to see them at different places. It's like the same kind of feeling. Jeff, how are you doing, buddy? I feel like we're really leaving you out, man.
No, it's all good, man.
You're a big fan of Cleveland. I know that. How are you, buddy?
Listen, I've been a subscriber for a long time, so I'm really stoked to actually get to talk to the man himself. Like I'm not even gonna hide it. I'm not gonna shy away from it. I'm straight up a fan of Terry.
And he watches a lot of YouTube, and he's got a great YouTube channel. What is your channel, Jeffrey?
Just DJ Switch PDX. My channel is not specifically geared towards DJing stuff. I'm trying to
smart man.
I had no choice.
I wanted to create a channel. Well, here's the thing, man. This is part of the reason why I'm collaborating with the DJ's Guru in the first place is because I wanted to create a channel that was, geared towards entertaining folks who were not DJs. Mm-hmm. Much in the same way that I don't DJ to a room with the hope of impressing the DJs in the room. If I try to play every room like I want to impress the DJs in that room, I'm playing to maybe 2-3 people in that room. Mm-hmm. As opposed to the other couple hundred or couple thousand people in that room, right? So, so my YouTube channel specifically, and to the same extent my Twitch channel, I want to gear towards non-DJ folks and be entertaining for people who aren't DJs. But I still wanted to have some kind of outlet to create content that also speaks to DJs, because I also am very active in the DJ community. I have a DJ crew. I have done DJ review work in the past, not nearly to the extent that you have, Terry, but like I've done some, right? Mm-hmm. So, I wanted to kind of create that outlet. As a matter of fact, I've got a 6-month review of the Rain 1 that's going to be going up very soon on the DJ's Guru. And I'm looking forward to sharing that with the world.
I'm looking forward to hearing about that one, because I've had mine for a long time too, and I just did my review. I'm just curious to see what everybody thinks.
We're gonna get into the gear.
Yeah.
Oh, I guess the mastermind that is Justin M Schwarz, the DJ's Guru / DJEventGear.com, has decided tonight that you and I are gonna fight each other over the Rain 1 and
I did?
And the Rev 7. And here's the thing, man. Like,
okay,
I like my Rain 1, and we'll get more into the details about that stuff a little bit later on. But I really like it. I've loved playing on it, and so Now,
have you used the Rain 7 at all yet?
The Rev? No, I haven't had a chance to play on the Rev. But here's what I know, and this is what's going to shock a lot of people. I'm not going to say a lot of bad things about the Rev 7 because 2 things. One, I know that Pioneer.
He knows I can do that. That's why.
Hilarious. Pioneer doesn't make anything by accident, right?
Yeah.
They don't make bad gear. Right. They certainly don't do anything by accident. They have a team of talented engineers that do everything intentionally. And so I know that the Rev 7 is a good piece of gear just simply because it has a Pioneer badge on it. And I'm not gonna pretend otherwise. Yep. But 2, listen, just like with anything else from almost any other DJ company, DJ gear company in the world, you get what you pay for. At $1,900, you're going to get a $1,900 piece of gear. So it's not a question of whether or not it's a piece of shit, because at $1,900, no, it's not.
Right. And
anybody that tells you it is lying to you.
So you're
it's
saying
not going to be a piece of garbage.
I shouldn't go on the Facebook forums and read everybody's opinions on it?
No. It's not going to be a piece of garbage, just like the Rain 1 isn't a piece of garbage. These are high-end professional pieces of equipment. So we can have a nuanced and serious conversation about it. But like, I want to enter this conversation with the full understanding that, like, if anyone out there is expecting me to like dump on either piece of equipment, like, I'm just going to disappoint you now. Like, they're both good professional pieces of gear.
Yeah, and I agree with you on that one, which is why when I came out with my follow-up, the Rain, because everybody's like, compare the Rain versus the Rev. So when I did that one, there was the same situation. I'm going through this video, and I shot the video, and I'm editing it, and I'm going, I hate this tone. I hate this tone. I got to change this. This is not right. So I went back in and did a whole new video because of it, because I agree with you on that one. There's nothing wrong with the Rain 1, and there's nothing wrong with the
There's a lot of projection in DJ controllers. It's very weird.
Yes,
a lot of I don't know what it is. It's the gear. Yeah. It's
and there's a lot of loyalty.
A lot of identification is maybe a better word.
Agreed.
Well,
Yeah, I think
fellas,
that's what it is.
it's almost like, and correct me if I'm wrong, but it's almost like DJs
I will.
love drama.
Yeah, right. Hey, hold on a second. Before we keep going,
A little bit.
we lost track of our audience, who, if without them, we don't have anything here. So we want to say hello. We said hello to Manny, right? What's up, Manny? We
Hey,
said hello
Manny.
to Jeremiah already. Derek, what's up? Derek, I think, was the fly on the wall when we were having that conversation at some point. And Manny met you. Did you meet Manny Cleveland? Yeah.
I'd have to see his face. When it says I wish I met him in Vegas, so I did not meet him yet. But if you're at NAM, I will be at NAM. So go to NAM. Is he frozen?
I don't know. It is entirely possible. Here's the thing about being out in New York. Justin's internet is absolute garbage.
He's got a
So-
wire going to California right now. Like his latency is just terrible.
Yeah, it's entirely possible. See, what people don't know on the back end is that this whole show is being hosted by Carrier Pigeon. And so sometimes the pigeon gets a little lost on the way to delivering the signal.
Now that's the one thing about StreamYards that I do like, because I use Melon. And Melon's great, but StreamYards, if you go down and somebody's already on the stream, like it won't take down the stream. Melon,
Yeah.
I've seen two different things about, so I'm not really sure, but I do love StreamYards for that. But that's okay. He'll come back at some point. He's just got to put more money in the meter,
Yeah.
do the thing again. So
Yeah, no, he'll be able to hop back on here in a second. In the meantime, yeah, dude, it's such a pleasure to finally actually get a chance to chat with you, man. Like I'm so stoked. I can't tell you how stoked I am to like hear a DJ creator, because there's a lot of I'm not gonna name names because I will never name names, but there are definitely there are definitely DJ creators out there in the space that probably I think is a safe assumption to have no idea who Casey Neistat is, don't know what LUTs are, don't know what color grading is. You know what I mean?
I do.
And to hear you talking about all that stuff, like, made the producer in me just go, oh, thank God.
Well, so the funny thing is, the guy that really, really pushed me over the top going, okay, I'm ready to do these things, Peter McKinnon. When I started watching Peter's videos, I was like, oh my God, this is amazing. So
Yes.
that's how I kind of started everything off of there. And God, he's still amazing. Even though he's not really talking about
Why
anything
can't I
anymore,
get a laptop
still
that
amazing.
works? Why can't I get a laptop that works?
Dude, I watch Peter McKinnon and Matty Hapoya daily.
Yeah. Oh yeah. Matty's
Daily.
a little too wordy sometimes and laughs all the time, but he's still great. So Justin, you're gonna blame this on the computer? Or you're gonna blame this on your internet?
I'll blame it on me. I don't care. I don't blame anybody. I don't know what happened. All of a sudden, it's odd that the screen went pink, and then the whole thing reset. I have a brand new MacBook Pro. Literally got it like 2 months ago, and
Did you get the M1 Pro?
And then it goes, would you like to report you had a problem? I go, ignore.
So which one did you get though?
I don't even know. I don't even know.
It just
I don't
showed
know.
up at your door?
Like, not the most expensive one, but like almost the most expensive one with the 13-inch screen.
With the 13-inch screen. Gotcha.
Yeah.
Gotcha. Okay. So you still have the one with the touch bar.
Yeah, I guess I got 16-inch or whatever. And, what is it, 14.7 now or something crazy?
I'm really interested in that 14. Like right now, I am literally hanging on by a thread, because either I'm buying a 14 or I'm buying a Mac Studio and then just keeping it in here, because that Mac Studio is super impressive. Super.
Okay, I don't like computers. I don't like the H word, so I don't like computers. At all. Anyway,
Justin's like 95 years old on the inside.
where was I?
Yeah,
I'm constantly doing multiple things. That's what it is. So I need everything to be simple and work.
I get you.
I have a very personal history with Apple, so we'll just
Yeah,
leave it at that.
let's not do that. And
Oh, okay.
buddy,
We'll be here all night.
Gotcha. It's kind of like
what's up, man?
it's like comparing Rain to Pioneer. Apple.
Not
Mac.
not for me. Yeah,
That's great. That's been
yeah.
nice.
I promise you, Rain and Pioneer never fucked your family out of a 7-figure income.
Oh,
All right. Well,
okay.
Yeah.
That's definitely a conversation we should have a different day.
Another time over a beer, buddy. I promise.
I look for next Expo. I hope. I know he's coming. He'll be coming to Expo. He'll be with RCF.
Are we talking about the one in
DJ.
Atlantic City?
Yep.
Yeah, I was on the fence between going last year, and it was just too close to after everything opened up. I was like, I can't do it. Now I don't care anymore. I got to do what I got to do, and I think that's kind of the way the world is. I mean, the amount of parties that are coming through my internet is stupid. How many people are trying to book events?
Really crazy, huh?
Yeah. So so I'll be there. So I'm doing NAMM. I want to do Expo, and I'm doing Harvest of Sound in December. So those are my 3 so far. I know there's a Midwest one too, right?
Midwest DJs Live, which is a really cool show. If you've never done that, I will give them a shout out. Mitch Taylor, good guy, really a good guy.
And that's like the biggest one, right?
We were a digital sponsor last year. Unfortunately, this year we had to choose only a few shows, and you got to do what you got to do. So I wish them well, and I hopefully I'll be back next year. Just we're building something, and I have to focus on that right now at the home base. Anyway. Yeah, Midwest DJs Live is a good show. It's in Wisconsin. But
I'm looking for sponsors because that's all travel stuff. So if anybody wants to sponsor me with some tickets and room, I'm good to go.
Speaking of that, Cleveland, where can everybody find you? Because we talked about Switch and where everybody can find him. Where can they find you? And, where do you want people to reach out to you if they did want to reach out to you?
Okay, so if somebody's I operate in 3 different places. Okay, I'm on YouTube, obviously, Cleveland Terry. I'm on Instagram, which is Cleveland Terry _ and I'm also on, and I also have my own Discord. So, but if people wanted to get at me, they can either DM me from IG, or they can just email me djclevelandterry@gmail.com. So if they want to sponsor me,
hold on a second. I'm gonna put that down here. But so you're available, huh?
Yeah, I just don't do tech support. So people stop emailing me about tech support.
Isn't that funny? It's a mentality that I learned at NAMM 2020. Actually, they ask you answer, and it really is. If you're in retail, that's it. Mm-hmm. And I sometimes I talk 45 minutes, and I have to explain something 6 different ways. The same thing 6 different ways. But they finally get it, and then we make the sale. Eventually you get to the end, and that's how I pay my bills. Everybody, it's just like Cleveland knows, content does not pay the bills.
No, it does not.
This is our store essentially. Where we reach people, and we were able to share. So let's circle back.
Sure.
I want to take back hold. Not thanks for watching. I'm out of it. Cleveland, welcome. Thank you for joining us.
I'm glad to be here.
Yeah, man. We titled the show Top Products Since Quarantine. So I thought it was a bit organic because both of us kind of got into this gear review game. And I think it's also great. It was cool for me to bring you on, because I liked you personally and I thought you were cool, and you're on the West Coast like my man here. Wait, I'm sorry. Are you in Canada, Switch? Where are you? Alaska? Where are you?
I'm in Portland, Oregon.
Good old Portland.
Oh, okay.
That's why there's a PDX right there on the end of my name. It's PDX is the airport code for Portland.
What's up, Adam? How you doing, brother?
Gotcha.
So anyway, I just thought it was really it would be interesting, and I also my thing is this: it's a review, it's an opinion, right? Now, my opinion is based off of experience for a long period of time, and then also hearing a million DJs, right? And their experience with stuff. And I kind of use that. And my review is basically, I tried to do what I did on the phone for 17 years in a video, So that's what I do. I don't know if I'm right or wrong. I just know I, at this point, focus on stuff that I know is good and works, right? and I kind of seek that stuff out. But you seem to have a different kind of style, and you have clearly a different perspective, obviously, than I do on the West Coast. And you're doing more private event stuff and come from a theatrical and a singing background, hip hop background. So I just thought it was kind of cool to hear all of our perspectives. And of course, Switch over here is one of my review guys, and is I mean, I thought I have conviction over the way I talk about stuff. This guy, he gets very emotional. Very emotional.
You kind of have to be.
Yeah, I know. The passion comes through. It's true. I am. Everyone knows that. And it's nice that I can now really focus on the stuff that I really like. It's not like I gotta, all right, we gotta sell 200 of these. Okay, I guess I gotta talk about this.
Right.
Anyway, so let's talk about our top products since quarantine. The first thing I want to do with you, Cleveland, is really kind of just get your perspective on the Rev 7 in a way that you can, tell us about your experience with it. You've been running with it now for how long?
Well, currently it's no longer in my possession, but I had it for probably 2 months straight, where I was literally doing every party with it. So that's been great. And in all honesty, so I've had the Rain 1 since it was released. So, and I still have the Rain 1. I still use the Rain 1, and the Rev 7 came, started using that one. In my opinion, the Rev 7 is probably the best combination of features compared to any other controller out there. Like what it offers you, especially if you're coming from a turntable perspective. And I think that's the key here, because I know a lot of people don't like certain things about the Rev 7. Meaning like, oh, it's battle mode, and the pitches are up top, and why couldn't they do this and that? And there's a lot of little things that I can completely understand why people wouldn't like. But if you're coming from it from a DJ perspective, a turntable perspective, it is an absolute no-brainer the way they put it together, and it makes perfect sense. I'm a big fan of the Rev 7. I was a big fan of the Rain 1 too. Still, like I said, I still use it, but I just personally feel that at this point in time, the Rev 7 is a better all-around controller, mechanized platter controller. But
to be fair, it's more expensive.
It is more expensive, and I mean, it's probably the one time that you can look and say, well, it costs this much more, but it gives you this much more. Well,
Pioneer always does that. Like the value is always there, especially when you perform on it. You might not see it on paper or on a listing, but when you jump on it, you're like, all right, I get it. Like when I first played on a CDJ 3000, like everyone's like, oh, there's no difference. Like there's a difference. Like that chip, there's a difference. If you play on CDJs, yeah. So it's one of those things where you can't really tell the value until you actually
there's a reason that it costs. There's a reason that things cost more money. Now, of course, look, I'm not going to say there isn't a pioneer tax, so to speak, just because of the reputation, but they make great products. And I think that's the key here. I have yet to review a product, well, besides the Flex. I have yet to review a product besides the Flex that I haven't been just like completely impressed with. Every one of them has some great things about them. I give Drew a hard time all the time because I mean, literally, when I did that, when I started shooting the video,
Flex 6 you're talking about?
The Flex 6, yeah.
Oh, I thought you were talking about something else.
No.
Jason.
Oh no, yeah, I started doing the video, and then Mackie, a whole different story. And I had to call him. I literally picked up the phone. I'm like, dude, am I doing something wrong? Because I hate everything about this thing. And he's like, oh no. And we kind of talked about it and everything. And then finally I was like, okay, it is a record box piece of hardware that allows Serato it is basically what it is, because it's just like the DDJ 1000. That's a great controller. It's much better in record box than it is in Serato, and it works in Serato just fine, but like the feature sets, it's designed for record box. So,
yeah, mean, the truth is, most of that's what Pioneer wants to do. Their software, they want to control the hardware on the software. It's a pain in the butt to work with Serato and Tractor. It's like impossible. They're like, we'll get to it when we get to it.
Well, we're still waiting on Serato's RX3 release.
Yeah.
And when I did that review, it was supposed to come out at the end of the month. And now, what are we in, March? And I reviewed it in December.
Wow.
So, yeah. It happens.
So we're talking Top Gear since quarantine with Cleveland Terry. Thanks for joining us. Eric is answering questions for us. Thank you, Eric. He's right. He is right. Rev 10.
Everybody says that. I don't know, but I agree. If the pitch on the Rev was regular, I think it'd be a home run. Maybe. I mean, maybe. I think that there's a lot of DJs though that are this is their muscle memory. This is also what they remember.
Here's the nice thing about it, because then we'll get the other perspective of why Switch loves his Rain 1, and nobody's wrong. Yeah. That's the beauty part of it. That's what I keep trying to explain to everybody.
And
it's all good.
But we're DJs. We can.
Why are we fighting about it? It's like
we can adjust. Like when the pitches were on the sides for the
Rain business, 1, I don't mind, but
yeah, it's fine. There's nothing on a piece of hardware that you can't adjust to. Nothing.
I just want everyone to know that guys from Rain and guys from Pioneer hang out together at the shows, and they're friends. Like we all like each other all together. And I'm a retailer, so I'm like Switzerland over here. Like, hey, what's up, guys?
Just buying everybody beers.
Everybody.
Hey, there's a lot of Rain. Look, first off, I will say this.
Real quick, Cleveland, I'm sorry to interject. Yep. You know what I did before? I was talking about my great grandparents. Mm-hmm. This was their first turntable.
They were killing it.
They mixed on these guys, man. It was
80-pound needles.
Sick. It was sick, dude. I'm telling you.
No, but what I will say is this: I do love how In Music is incorporating all of the companies and making products that are just like, I think there's a big future in music and their software. This engine DJ software, it's something special. It still needs work. There's a lot of things in it that still need some work, but I can totally see the future in them. It's impressive.
That's all I use. When I use a controller, that's all I use. When I play, I'm on CDJ, so I'm just a USB stick, and that's it. And we have an RMX 1000 for extra effects, and it's like old school, right? It's like I got a stick headphone too, like this. I hold it like this with one hand. It's really cool. No, I'm kidding.
Wait, so are you one of those? Because there's a lot of people. There's this growing consensus of people that are like, stop. Everything needs to be an all-in-one. When the Rev 7 came out, why couldn't it have been an all-in-one? And I'm still on the fence though, because I still think computers are necessary.
I don't use a computer at all, but I think it's. Maybe I'm not understanding your question. Components versus controllers.
No, people are saying that we need to stop using computers. Everything should be an all-in-one system. So the Rev 7, all-in-one. Rain 1, all-in-one. And I'm sitting here going, I as a mobile DJ, we're not there yet with engine software.
Tell them, Terry. Tell them.
So you're still going to need computers.
Well, I'm going to drop this on you. Without your computer, your Rev 7 or whatever is a $1,900 paperweight.
Correct.
So
you are correct.
A standalone product makes sense as a value perspective because it's its own computer.
If you don't have a computer, and it's your first foray into DJing, I would tell most people get an all-in-one because it's right there. It's easy. The streaming capabilities are built in. Go have fun. If you're just like, I need something, I'm like, go get yourself a Newmark, mix stream and call it a day. But I can't do my job effectively with just an all-in-one. And I'll give you one perfect example. If somebody comes to me and says, hey, it's grandma's wedding anniversary and I need this song, do you have it?
Dude, that's bad, Eric. That's a bad one. I'm sorry. That's a bad analogy.
Without vinyl turntable, it's paperweight top.
No, that's not the same thing.
Right, but until I can do two things on the standalones, until I can buy music. Phase, there you go, perfect. Yeah, but until I can buy music, and be able to play it on a standalone, and or until I can play videos like a video montage out of my deck, I still need a computer. So if I still need a computer, it doesn't matter what I use. Computers forever.
I would take that one step further because I play a lot with guys from my DJ crew. We trade gigs all the time. There's a lot of opportunities to DJ other places where there's gear already installed or set up where I can just walk in with a laptop.
Right.
And if I had to walk into a place that had a 72 and a pair of 12 set up and I had to tear all that down just to set up my Mixstream Pro.
You mean you're not going to put your Mixstream right on top?
No. As a matter of fact, Cleveland Terry, I'm not going to do that. YouTube's very own Cleveland Terry. I'm not going to set a $600 Mixstream Pro on top of a $3,500 rain setup. I'm not going to do that.
Thank you.
I would rather take a laptop. Thank you for asking. So yeah, I'm with you there, man. I'm very much of the opinion that laptops still are very necessary. I do see the value for some folks, for a lot of folks, in having an all-in-one solution.
We got another ping screen. Anyway, keep going.
Yeah, that'll happen. That's why I'm here, frankly. I've been a little bit quiet tonight just because, like, being a guest and whatnot, man. Like, I definitely want to give you your airtime, but I completely agree with you. Also, like, I haven't really had a lot to say because you're saying all the right damn things, man. Like, I agree with you. Like, I would take a laptop over an all-in-one every day, all day. I want to have the options. Like, I'm the dude that wants to have options to be able to, like, play on other people's setups. I want to be able to play in different clubs and different environments and to be able to be flexible. And unfortunately, with an all-in-one, that's, like, one of the big things that you give up is being able to be flexible. If they create an all-in-one where you can, like, run a USB cable into a Rain 72 or something and just turn it into a big-ass hard drive or whatever, then maybe that's a different scenario. But I don't see that happening anytime in the next 10 years.
I'm going to blow your mind for a second. First of all, that was the internet. And I think you guys were talking to just you two. I don't think we were live. I can't see. I'm trying to wrap my head around how that would be possible. I don't think it. I'm like the main hub. So.
Well, no, we're still live. That's a good thing about StreamYards. It will
leave
you.
Yeah, StreamYard kept us live.
Yeah.
I like.
As far as I know.
Thank you.
I don't know.
Everybody in the chat, put a comment in the chat if you're here. Put a comment in the chat.
By the way, yeah, this is 2 in a row. So they had a whole problem the other day. By the way, free shout out to StreamYard just for that. Okay, yeah. And if you're doing anything like this, I don't know what you use, Cleveland, but I think when we first started doing these shows, when I was in another capacity, I did use something else. It was like B Live or something.
That was the first one. That was a nightmare.
It was like YouTube's like they had a partnership, so I'm like, all right, it's got to be good, right? Horrible, nothing but problems. And then I found StreamYard, and I'm like, wow. It was like when I met Ape Labs Lights. It was like, whoa, this is me. I get it.
Yeah, Streamlabs is good. Actually, Restream has one too, which is actually really good too.
I thought you saw that everywhere, and then I never saw it again.
Yeah. But I'm on Melon, who's
Play TV. Play TV does not need to renew my hours anymore.
Why do they keep renewing my hours? I've never even been on there.
Neither am I. Thank you. It's funny because I know we all get that email because at some point we're like, "Oh, this looks really cool." You're like, "What? Fuck that shit."
Y'all know you can unsubscribe from those emails, right?
Well, so did you? But I had the meeting with them. I did my little Zoom meeting with them, and first off, I did love what they were coming out with, but the problem was, they were talking to me about stuff that they had now, and the stuff that they were doing now didn't work. So I'm like, okay, well, why don't you just let me know when you come out with the new stuff, and then I'll take a look at it again. And I got nothing. It's kind of like what is it? Mix. Why can't I remember it now? What's the Twitch competitor? Mixcloud. Mixcloud is the exact same way, where it's like they
They're
promise
not
all these things.
They're not in competition with each other. They're not in
I don't
competition.
know about that. I think I would say they are.
DJs who are on the platform seem to be in competition with each other. Those two companies are not in competition with each other.
Hold on. So no, they're not in competition as far as like it's not a business to
Amazon
to
owns
business
one of them.
competition.
Are you kidding me?
Right. It is a people competition because they're trying to get more people on their platform.
Stop fighting.
Well, there are solutions. Look, first off, if I were Mixcloud, I would be the angriest people in the world. I would be so angry knowing that I'm the only one with like legitimately legal streaming capabilities and nobody wants to go on. I'd be pissed. What's Switch doing?
Yeah, I mean,
are you massaging your Rain One?
They solved the problem that like everyone was trying to solve, and no one really seemed to care because you can do it for free on Twitch.
Because you can do it for free. Exactly. Yeah.
That's what it comes down to.
What up, Tara? How you liking those L System 32s? We can't talk about bows here, David. We're not allowed to talk about bows.
You can talk all you want about bows. You're just gonna get it. When have I stopped? I talk about other retailers. I don't care.
Watch my feed disappear.
No, I just trust me.
Well, thanks for stopping by, Terry. It was good.
I'm not setting anybody's free speakers.
Fair enough.
Hey, so I really like the Rain One.
You want to talk about it?
This has been an organic conversation, which I knew it was going to be. So, Switch he's getting upset. I could tell he's very upset.
Look at me, I'm clearly furious.
Look at him.
I'm very upset.
He's very handsome.
Does he have his Rain One teleprompter so he can talk about the Rain One?
Yeah, he doesn't even. You know what? I forgot to say I was going to tell you. Well, you don't have it anymore, but I thought maybe you had the Rev 7. But
no, I got another one coming at some point, but just still waiting like everybody else. Yeah.
So, and that's so. It's such a weird conversation to have, and like I said, a lot of DJs like they just love drama, so everybody wants to compare the Rain One with the Rev 7. It's this just ongoing like, what do you think about this versus what do you think about that, and everybody has to like there's got to be this like ongoing narrative of like, oh Pioneers talking smack or Pioneers fighting back against Rain. They're two completely different devices, and frankly, I think they're for two completely different types of DJs. I think that the Rev 7 having motorized platters.
Yeah, please speak frankly, okay? Whatever you do, but don't hold back.
Okay. I think that the Rev 7 having motorized platters makes everyone sort of initially compare it to the Rain 1 because there's not a lot else to compare it to. Maybe the NS 7.3 or whatever from years ago, but even that's not really a fair comparison because that thing is, a decade old at this point or something.
Interesting that you would say it's a decade old considering if you open up a Rain 1, you see see some components in there that came from that one.
Yes, I know. It's a lot of the stuff from the Rain comes from the NS7. I know that. Here's the thing about the Rain that I appreciate, that I don't think makes the Pioneer worth the extra money to me. And I always sort of like qualify it with to me because the effects on the Pioneer are dope. They're dope. I'm not gonna lie. Like I'm not gonna like try to pretend they're not. They are. I don't use effects that much. Like my style, the stuff that I do to perform. I play with a hip hop group. When I play out in clubs and stuff, I don't use a lot of effects. The few that I do use, mostly I can kind of get away with the Serato stuff. Yes, the Pioneer effects are better, but they're not like $300 better to someone like me who doesn't use them that often, right? So, like, I don't see value in the effects alone. I do see value in having a center pin that I use all the time. People say, oh, because of the way it's built or the way that it works, you can't use the center pin. Bullshit. I use it all the time as a turntablist, having that center pin missing from the Rev 7 is a problem for me. I don't need the screens. I need a center pin, right? But the biggest thing for me that kind of sets the Rain apart from the Rev, and honestly, if the Rev had done this differently, I might be completely changing my perspective. Maybe the next version of the Rev or the next Rev controller that comes out might do this differently, but being that it's Pioneer and they have a history of not doing this differently, I don't see that changing.
Wait, what did you say? Pioneer's coming out with a new controller?
If they do,
Probably
the next
10, right?
the next time that they come out with a controller, if they do this
Guess what
differently,
they are. I promise you, they're coming out with a new controller at some point.
it's at some point. Yeah, at some point. The next time that they do another controller, if they change the outputs of the booth and they change the input on the second mic so that it's all XLR, like the Rain,
100%.
because that right there, see that, if you flipped the two and you told me that the Rain was the same price as the Rev 7, if all things being equal, if you brought the Rev 7 down to the same price as the Rain, with all of the features that the Rev has that the Rain doesn't, I still would take the Rain just for the XLR outs.
I don't disagree with you.
Because that's how important they are to me. I'm not saying to every DJ that they're that important. Not every DJ has the same needs that I have. But for my needs as a DJ, for me, they're that flipping important that I need those XLRs.
Yeah. And I actually said that too. It was very, very important to me. Once you start using them, because look, I've always been a kind of a Pioneer guy, you know, S9s and the DJ1000s, the SX2, SX3. So I'm used to the 1/4 inch, right? The 1/4 inch to XLR out. And then
That's
I
what
got.
she said.
Yeah, I know exactly.
Oh, come on.
In and out. But then
Listen, can we keep this professional, please?
It's 9 o'clock, man. I've been going to 7 a.m. You all know.
Yeah, but then I got the Rain 1, and the XLR outs are so important for the booth and the microphone inputs. When I got the Rev 7, I remember saying, "Oh, it would have been great if they had this." Now I got to remember to bring a 1/4 inch out again, but I didn't have to before. So it's little things like that, which I definitely agree with you on there.
It's a quality of life thing, man.
Yeah.
And that's the really key part for me, is that when you strip away the toys and you strip away the fun stuff and you get down to like the nuts and bolts, the quality of life, what's it like to live with this thing? The Rain 1 starts to stack up to the Rev 7 a lot more than people sort of initially realized, I think. Now, the other thing, when you compare the Rain 1 and the Rev, I understand that the Rev has a lot of metal components on the inside, and it's built very well. Just like a lot of other Pioneer gear over the last several years has been built very well. The 1000 SRT, I took that out for quite a while. There's a guy in my DJ crew that has one, and he let me borrow it for a few weeks, and I was able to really put it through its paces. Built extremely well. The S9, the S7, the S11, I've played with all of them. I've put them all through their paces. They're all built extremely well. Even though they have a plastic outer shell, it's still a high-quality plastic with a very well-designed, well-engineered internal. So I'm not going to talk...
But okay.
Well, I mean, even the S9 I thought was built... It's like, yes, it had a few flaws, but like to me, it was still built like as well as you would expect from a professional device. What I'm saying is I'm not downplaying the quality of the build on the Pioneer stuff. What I am saying is the Rain having that metal exterior that we've come to know from Rain products, there is a confidence in moving that thing around, bumping it against door jams, scuffing it against, the table corners, little stuff like that I am far less concerned about. If it bumps into something or scuffs against something, like if there's little scratches, I have a feeling that thing is going to look newer longer than any of the plastic pieces of gear that I own, no matter how high quality the plastic.
Okay.
And that's important.
Now, have you had any issues with your Rain 1?
Rain 1 has plastic in it, dude.
Yeah, the top piece is plastic.
It has plastic in it, just so you know.
Yeah, I know it has plastic in it.
But there's more than you probably realize is there.
You know what? Here's a hot take. The feet are also plastic.
Well,
anyway,
But seriously, but have you had any issues with? Because I've had issues with my Rain 1.
So issues in terms of like actual technical problems with it?
Correct. Yeah.
No.
Have you had any? You have not had any?
Not a
issues?
single one.
Okay. Because
Not a single one. I've seen a couple videos, guys, where the platter goes out of control or the pitch gets wonky or stuff like that. Like I've seen a few of those. My DJ crew actually runs the Rain 72 and 12 group on Facebook.
Oh, okay.
We also run the Pioneer S9, S7, S11 group.
So
I think
you're Ivan homies.
I get very little Rain product back, if any. Honestly,
so that's
my perspective. I've seen the return shelf for 17, 18 years now. I see the stuff that comes back. Pioneer or Rain, neither of them really. Do you see that stuff ever come back? When someone calls me and is like, Pioneer, it's not working, I go, all right, hold on a second. Hold on. Let's troubleshoot it for, like you always say, like you were saying, do technical support. But anyway, just wanted to say that. Go ahead, guys.
So between those two Facebook groups, I think we've got a combined something like 15,000, 15,500 DJs. So we see a lot of stories of people, having issues and dealing with weird little videos of like, hey guys, my thing is doing this, what do I do? That kind of stuff.
My thing is doing this. Please help.
And then we have to report them to Facebook for indecent videos or whatever. But seriously, we see a lot of that kind of stuff. And so I've seen it. I personally have never experienced it with my Rain.
Gotcha. So I've had a couple of instances specifically on the headphone jack. I still haven't figured out that, but I will only get like one channel out on my 4th inch, the mini jack, where it just isn't working properly. So I put it in the 1/4 inch and then it works just fine. So it's just a small connection issue with that. But I did have one of my feet come off during transportation. I looked back and all of a sudden, and I saw it and the screw was in the bag, just chilling. Like, oh, okay. And I got to screwed it back.
Oh, weird.
Yeah, very, very, very weird. But as far as, and you know what I'm not a fan of? The one thing I'm not a fan of, I don't love the higher knobs on the Rain 1.
Really?
Yes, because what happens is, especially if you have it in a soft case, those higher knobs are the first ones to take a beating. Like if it were a little more flush, because like the control knob, not the control knob, the file knob. The file knob. Those
file
ones,
select.
File select. It's very, very tall knob. So I noticed. That's what I noticed. I was like, oh, I got to make sure I don't put anything on top of this because these things can bend off. But the Rain 1 again. I use the Rain 1 every single week. Now, if I had my Rev 7, the question is, would I use the Rain 1 if the Rev 7 was here? And the short answer is probably not. I'd be a Rev 7 guy. And the only reason why I love
that's the magic question, right? I guess. But that's you.
Yeah. But that's also me. But what I love about the Rev is the one thing that the Rain 1 doesn't have, and that is a full-size mixer area. I've always felt that the Rain 1 was a little cramped. So but not just, again, everything we talk about here is stuff that you can get used to. But once you use something else, you're like, oh, that's right. I did love the size. I love the space in between. So I do love that. The effects are unmatched on the Rev 7. You're not getting around that. Internal, Serato effects versus Pioneer effects, way different. Now, I would say I don't use a lot of effects either. I use echo and I use maybe the filter knob. But
that duck down though.
But the duck, that's what I'm saying. But the
that
effects
duck
that
down
they put
though,
in there
on the Rev 7,
man.
that duck down is dope.
Yeah. I actually found myself using it a lot more. And
Pioneer's crazy for that one, man.
Yeah, but when you start changing like the actual beat parameters, and then the effect is you honestly have like multiple effects in that one duck down because it does so many different things. So I do appreciate that. Sound wise, they're virtually the same. So I'm not really worried about that as far as the output that comes out. But I am just, look, I don't need the centerpiece because, you're a phase guy. How are you even using the center spindle if you're a phase guy?
So that's a
Wait a minute.
complicated question.
How do you know he's a phase guy?
He put
I just held it up.
Yeah.
And also, I've got one right there in my shot.
I thought that was kind of creepy for a second.
Yeah.
Go.
So I mean, I wasn't always a phase guy, obviously.
I love how we label people. We label you're a phase guy.
No, it's accurate. As a matter of fact, I don't think Terry realizes how accurate that is. So I mentioned that my DJ crew runs those two Facebook groups, but I actually don't spend a lot of time in those two groups anymore because in the beginning of 2020, I started spending more of my time moderating the Phase DJ group on Facebook. And that group was pretty unruly, and I actually I called out the admin in the group. I was like, "Yo, are you gonna like moderate this group or what? Because this is insane." And dude had seen me doing some mod work in the other groups, and he was like, and he private messaged me, and he was like, "Actually, I could really use some help. Would you be down to like help me out?" And so it led to me and one other dude. So there's 3 mods for the Phase DJ group. Me and 2 other guys, and so that's where I spend a lot of my time now is moderating the Phase DJ group on Facebook, and working directly with Phase over in Paris.
It's probably a lot quieter now, though.
It is now for sure. It's quieter now than it was 2 years ago because 2 things have happened. One, they finally put the Phase out and released it to the public. But 2. We've sort of established a little bit of order in that group.
For a second from that when that first came out. Oh my God.
We're not allowing a lot of people to just like rip each other apart and go for the jugular and act like it's a completely lawless Western town anymore. We get people to like behave themselves and act like professionals because at the end of the day, the Phase is a professional device for professional DJs, and so we assume that if you're in that group that you're a professional DJ, we expect you to act like a professional.
Fair enough. Camille just emailed me just because, so it'll be interesting to see. Oh, I see Darth Vader in the building. Brandon Blaine, what's going on, man? Good to see you.
we gotta shout some people out. And when Darth Vader enters the stream, my hit counter goes up immediately. First of all, second
Darth Vader has entered the chat.
Always good, and we're gonna get him on. He's been on this show several times.
Was he angry all the time though?
We're trying to get him on. I think he went on vacation, and we had the show must go on, as they say, right? So,
he force choked me over the internet. It was real awkward.
Damn, man, that guy, that's a good dude right there. Thank you for watching, Brandon. What's up?
He's been with me all day. I had my Tech Thursday, and now he's back on, so I appreciate him.
First, well, congratulations, Chris. If you have any questions, reach out to us, and if we can ever help you with anything, reach out.
I will tell you, first thing you should do is get new slip mats.
Get new slip mats. For what?
Get new slip mats.
First thing you should do is get one of these.
I don't like deck savers. I know it's controversial.
A word from the sponsors.
I wanted to get a deck saver because I needed something that would allow me to leave my range set up so that I could use it regularly to practice on and to get more comfortable with it. Both like to scratch and play on, but also to like just practice and work on tricks and stuff. I don't always have this set up because I do take it to gigs. Lately, I've been taking it to like my band practice and stuff because I'm in a hip hop group. And so we've been rehearsing on Monday nights again because we're starting to kind of get back to that.
I'm the only person on the stream that has never been in a hip hop group ever. I just want to say I noticed that. So I'm clearly comic relief. You guys keep going.
But I'll tell you what I do, and this is actually part of the rain conversation. Is another reason why I love bought the deck saver, perfect. So another reason why I love my rain and why I'm sticking to it, sticking by it, is that I have an entire ecosystem, and I talk about this in my 6-month review that's going to be hopefully coming out very soon on the DJ's Guru YouTube channel. I've got an entire ecosystem of accessories, right? I've got a road case. I've got the big road case that has the shelf that it's got the wheels,
Slider.
it's the big old heavy box, right? It's got the rack mount. I've got my microphone system rack mounted to it, so that when I go out to do a wedding or I go out to do like a big ass event, I have the full rig setup, right? But then for something more casual or for something a little bit lower key, I do have the soft case that Magma makes that I picked up, so that like if I want to just take the Rain and throw it into a soft case that I can throw over the shoulder, it's super portable that way. And at that point, it just becomes like any other controller. I need a laptop and I need 3 cables, and all that just fits into a backpack, which you can also get at the DJs at DJEventGear.com. You can get a DJ's Guru backpack to throw your laptop and your 3 cables in.
Best place to go. Best place.
And then you're good to go. You throw the Rain over your shoulder, you throw your cables and your laptop in your backpack, and you're completely portable, and without having to give up any performance whatsoever. You don't have to take a smaller controller. You don't have to give up any kind of like real estate or like flexibility in terms of like being able to scratch or juggle or do any of the stuff that you're comfortable with on the Rain, because you're literally taking the same Rain 1 controller to a smaller gig or to like a band practice or whatever, right?
Yeah.
And then the deck saver is for when it's just here at home chilling. When I don't have it set up and looking pretty for the show, for all you folks. Then that's when I've got it, under the deck saver, so it doesn't get all dusty.
You know what? Now I just thought about that switch. Make sure that Rain 1 is in that exact spot to have the right angle when he sets this up. The same way that we all, like this is not an accident behind me. The same way yours isn't, right? And it builds up, but that's funny. Anyway, I'm going to take the show back over if you guys don't mind.
It's your show,
I guess.
No, but I got to pay some bills at some point. And it's also here. It's 9:12, and Cleveland. I don't want to keep you for too long. I don't know if you can go for a little bit longer.
I can go for a little longer. I assumed we were going to about 7. So
yeah, we'll just go for a few more minutes. But I just want to talk about something that we're going to be actually getting Cleveland involved with. But first, I just want to shout out ADJ and let everybody know I got my WMX1.
Oh,
Wolf
you mean
mix.
the light MPC?
Basically, and that's great. And that's what we said. DJs like tactile performance, so this is tactile performance for lights, right? I want to just kind of give you a real quick idea. If you're using moving heads, I mean, these are built-in things that you can do with the Wolf mix.
Now, does this thing right here, this testing kit, cost? Is that an additional charge or is that included?
They come with the ADJ is basically licensing it and then distributing it here in US, and it's very similar to like My DMX Go, where it comes with a certain amount of built-in stuff, but if you want to go with the full deal, you do have to buy some extra plugins, I believe. But it's more about the universes, I think, and things like that. I have to be honest. I'm one that I'm learning to just try to reserve my judgment until I really know the answers of things. But
it's a lot. It's a lot. I mean, I don't even mean price wise. It's just a lot of tech for most DJs.
I think, but I'm wondering, and that's the thing, and it's a good lead in because we're going to talk about Ape Labs next. But like, I love Ape Labs because it is so simple. But I have a feeling we're all afraid of DMX, and I have a feeling, there it is. This is something that's going to be able to be picked up by DJs in a way that maybe the software isn't, because it's more like CAD drawing and it's other side of the brain. Where I feel like this is more creative and performance driven. And it's easier for us to kind of grasp that stuff. For me, at least. So
yeah, it's
I want to say that and thank you to ADJ. There's very little stuff that I don't pay for. This was something that I'm going to be using in my events business.
Hey, ADJ, where's mine, dude?
I asked them. I asked them for a favor, and they hooked me up. But trust me, you'll see a ton of content, and they'll get their money's worth. But
Brandon,
this product, because as soon as I saw it, I'm like, this speaks to me. Now, speaking of speaking to me,
I'm not cool enough.
Say hello to Brandon.
It's fine.
Justin Terry is an amazing salsa dancer. Ask him about it.
He loves talking about
We'll get
salsa.
back to that.
At one point, one
Best
day he
followers,
might get it.
And viewers on Mountain, I don't know. We're getting spammed.
You are getting spammed.
Are you involved, Cleveland? You're getting spammed. Salsa Bar Taco. I will say the Master Out is by far the best I've ever heard from any controller note. I haven't heard the Rev 7 in person. No one really has. But Rain has great mixer output. Everything it always sounds very good. That's one thing.
Yeah.
As a matter of fact,
I always liked more from Rain when even going back to the old days when it was MP24 and an MP44 in clubs, but it always sounded warmer to me. Pioneer always seemed to be a little bit more digital.
go ahead.
Oh, I was just gonna actually on the if we're steering back to the conversation of the Rain versus the Rev 7.
No, we're definitely not.
I do have one more question.
I was talking about DJ controllers, if I'm being honest.
I do have one more question I want to ask Terry about the Rev 7, and maybe you can, since you had it for so long, maybe you can answer this question because I haven't been able to find an answer. Do you know how many screws it takes to be able to clean a fader?
Oh, I believe that's the worst part because I think you have to go underneath the deck in order to get to the fader. There is no easy way about it because I actually asked Drew about replacing the fader. Not that I want to, but if I needed to, how hard would it be? And he's like, it's a lot of work. You got to go through the bottom, and it's just a lot. So I'm assuming it's
an iPhone screen.
What's for?
4 screws.
Four screws for what? For the Rain?
4 screws. They're all right on top. They're very accessible. You pull off the faders, and there's 4 screws.
Now, I would argue, and again, everybody's different. I know there are people that are just in love with Rain and the Rain faders and all that stuff. I don't love the Mag 4. It's fine.
It's fine. Yeah. It's fine. I mean, I don't love it any more than I love any of the faders that Pioneer's ever put out. Like I would put them both kind of in the same camp. But here's the thing. It's not even that I love Rain over Pioneer because they put 4 screws on top. What I love is being able to clean out my shit.
Yeah.
Without having to tear apart the underside. That's what I love. And if Pioneer put screws on top and made it easy to like dust the stuff out and made it easy to clean, because it's going to get dusty regardless, right?
Right.
So if Pioneer made at least the fader section more accessible just to get a can of air in there.
Oh, I understand what you're saying. I get that.
Like that's all I'm saying. And if Pioneer could like make it a little accessible just so we could like just self-maintenance a little bit, then again, I'd be singing a whole different tune.
You know what's more important than self-maintenance?
I feel an ad coming.
Self-care. Self-care. I want to make sure on that note, I want to give a shout out real quick. I'm hijacking back my show. I want to say thank you to everybody for the support. Okay. Because it's not that without everyone out there watching and my customers become my friends, and now that I'm putting myself out there, I'm meeting even more people, and it's really great, and I really appreciate it because it's allowing me to do what I really have always wanted to do in the way that I've wanted to do it. So thank you to everybody, honestly. And then steering back to, listen, I'm going to put a moratorium on DJ controller talk for 3 months after this show.
Okay, Dad.
I'm so done with DJ controller talk. I'm tired. Okay, Cleveland, you can talk about DJ controllers and whenever you want, but on this show, it's gonna be a DJ controller free spring. That's what I'm gonna say. Like, all right. Anyway.
Okay.
Gotcha. I want to talk about.
Shit. Okay. All right. We're just
Max.
gonna.
Yeah, they look interesting. Do I have one here?
I want to talk about the Maxi.
Oh shit! Sorry.
I mean, I like the new design.
Are they not?
Looking at my old one.
Look at the cream. Hi, Julius. I hope Julius is watching. What's up, Julius? Julius in Germany. Guy's the man.
Yeah, I definitely looks better. And there's nothing wrong with the aluminum, but it definitely doesn't hold its color and fingerprints and all that stuff.
You
It's
know,
all over the place.
The when you use it, you see it. When it's on, you never notice it. Obviously.
Yeah, of course not. Yeah.
It's funny. Even in my first look video, I'm looking at, you can see all the fingerprints and everything, and everyone says the same thing. But it's I keep coming up with different analogies. So today it was like the Maxi 1.0 is like unfinished furniture, and then they painted it and primed it and painted it and lacquered it, and now it's like beautifully. That's kind of what they did. It's not that much different than the original. It's better, and then they really modernized the look and they made it more elegant. And I mean, look at the design. Like it always had some flair, but like that design at top,
there's nothing like Ape Labs. There's nothing as far as look.
Yeah, look at this white. It's
but Eric says Ape Labs $70,000 each.
Let me tell you something. I spent several $1,000s on Ape Labs products in the last year, and I've made 10 times back the money plus. Okay, so I don't want to hear about how much this stuff costs when you're taking it out and you're charging people money when you use it. Stop it. How much is the Maxi? The paper in my printer. Guess what? It's the cost of doing business. Like, come on, stop.
Just out of curiosity, how much is the Maxi, just in general right now, retail, like a single Maxi?
The single Maxi is $399.
Okay, so no, but what I'm saying is it's the same price. Yeah, than a Gervais Freedom Par Hex. So
there's no difference in a Freedom Par Hex now. I think is $429.
Fantastic
light. I've sold tens of thousands of Freedom Pars. I'm probably there's people watching that I sold them a set of 18 or 27 or
I own like 5 boxes of them.
Packs of 9. But
in fact, I bought it from you. In fact, I bought when you were still an iDJ Now. I bought it from you.
Possible, yeah. I'm telling you. So, but here's the thing, and I'm going to be honest about this. As
you didn't
a lot
give me
of
a good deal.
Grow,
I'm kidding.
As DJs grow, like companies that maybe are selling to DJs, they evolve too. And the ADJs, the Chauves, these companies they're kind of looking more at stage productions and touring and things of that nature. They're not necessarily looking at the event of 500 people or less as much. And that's kind of our wheelhouse, right? The event professional, wedding, private event, backyard, whatever, gala, whatever it is. Ape Labs is really, they have completely dialed in on that person who is also a standard consumer. So Ape Labs is going to be, I'll tell you right now, especially the 2.0, you'll start to see it in people's houses because it's that easy to use. And it's so fun. It's so unique. And it will be one of the first things I think that you'll really start to see translate to people buying it like you see them buying other types of product. But anyway, I
was going to say, what else did they do though? They did the new Maxis.
So they did the Mini.
Okay.
Pretty much everything is getting a makeover, but right now I only have info that I can publicly show on these products. And those are released as far as pre-orders. And we're supposed to be shipping towards the end of the month for the stuff that we have on order. Cool. So we're very excited about that. But it's just, I'll tell you, and a lot of people, I've had 10, 15, 20 different conversations with people over the last 2 days, just going back and forth. And most of the people have the original product and they're just really ecstatic about the upgrades, and it's everything that you would have wanted.
I want an Ape stick with a longer lasting battery.
You have some Ape stick stuff coming out that's going to be really cool. There's new stuff coming. Leave it there, and it's going to be different. Not so much different, but it's going to be better. Yeah, and it's definitely going to be very cool.
I noticed that Eric said, here's the thing.
It's such a great objection. I love it because this will actually make you money, this objection.
Most upscale catering halls have uplights built in, so we were selling less of them. 15 years ago, I made more. And I think it also depends on where you are, in all honesty, because in Southern California, every hall that keeps getting built, for whatever reason, they're not putting uplights in, or they're uplights in a weird position.
Not every party's in a catering hall.
Yeah, that too. So I'm actually, in all honesty, since we started back up, I have been renting out so many more uplights than ever before. Everybody's looking for uplights now. So yeah, there are some venues where they already have them, or you got a party planner that uses her own. Fine.
I am doing, first of all, two things. I'll give you two real world examples. I'm managing a DJ. I'm doing sound promotion. I open for him sometimes. It's kind of a bigger name here in my area. And I'm just helping him out. I didn't really want to get into DJing so much, but I like what I'm doing now because I do event production. And we went into this restaurant and they wanted him to DJ, and I could bring sound. They don't really need a ton of sound. There wasn't so much gear that I could bring that my DJ needed because they had a sound system. And so I'm like, all right, I need to make money on this. I need to make some more money. Hold on a second. What about lighting? You guys have no lighting. I was there one time. It was super dark. Oh, well, we don't have lighting. Oh, that'd be awesome. What do? I bring in maxis and minis, and I made myself an extra, I'm not going to say the number, but it was well worth it.
It was worth it. Yeah.
So I hope they're not watching for 5 minutes of work. But I go in, I drop them down, it's just the lighting part, you know what I mean? But just owning them gives you the ability to do that. And it has to make sense. But like you said, rental, this is such a great rental product. And a lot of people are doing it themselves. So the rental business is definitely going to increase. And this is a great rental product because they're like indestructible. They're waterproof. They're simple to use. They got a freaking remote that has like 9 buttons on it, and they really don't break. I've sold thousands of maxis at this point. And the only problem that you ever have is a battery issue that you just have to reset the battery. And a couple of sticks I've had the LED had white out. And that was it. I've had like literally on one hand, I can count the times that I've sold Ape Labs and had people not have a problem or not be happy.
Yeah. And then the one other thing about Ape Labs, and it's not necessarily for everybody, but like anybody using like a sound switch or, even like a My DMX Go, you might run into some problems. It's good when they're all on their own, and it's just the ecosystem of Ape Labs. Like this remote is so impressive when I can run everything off of this single remote. But when I tried to incorporate them into other things, it got a little more complicated, even with the WAP and the the DMX bridge that they have.
Yeah, so I really am not. I like the remote. I'm minimalistic with my lighting because of how I'm using things, and I'm just using some moving heads and Ape Labs, and it's all about placement for me.
Sure.
And the Ape Labs products, because I'm using all of them, they're so unique and different that they, like I turned a can into an effect light, and I put it up like on the magnet. Usually people put them up like this and it's an uplight, and I put it this way and I put it up on the ceiling.
This is my key light right here. That can is right up here.
People, what's funny is people ask like, oh, how much wash does it give off? So you kind of have a good example of it.
Yeah, and I'm actually not even all the way in it, but it's a perfect key light. Perfect. I like them a lot, especially for in here. I mean, yes, to buy them all, to make them all happen.
Hey, CE, maybe you will have what you're asking for, maybe. And I guess what? Now Siri's talking to me because I said, CE. What the hell is going on?
Yeah, you actually got real loud for a minute too. That was weird.
Did I?
Yeah.
Oh, because I see his comment and I'm like, I like when people write comments, and then it might be coming.
Yeah, there you go.
You get excited. What's up, CE?
See, I have a similar problem. Like you were mentioning before, that not every party happens in a ballroom that already has uplighting, right?
No, believe it or not.
Yeah, I know, it's crazy.
Stuff about music, and like 9 people were talking about weddings. I go, not every party is a wedding. Like
I I run into this issue all the time.
I see who my friends are on my business Facebook. You know, it's a lot of wedding DJs, which fantastic. Clearly those are the guys that are spending money. So
a lot of the events that I focus my energy on are nerdy events, nerd conventions, gaming conventions, that kind of stuff. And especially the last couple of times that I brought lighting out to a thing, it was to set up lighting in a pop-up arcade in a conference room at a convention center, where it was literally just an empty beige room that we carted in, a couple hundred arcade machines, and then I had to pop up some lighting. And so like we had nothing, and it worked out really, really well. And I wish I had more, frankly. I wish I had an Ape Labs set up like that, because it would have made my life a lot easier, and I would have been able to charge them a lot more money. So yeah, I mean, I absolutely see the value in what you're talking about. Yes, these things are a little on the pricey side, but
if they can make a battery powered moving head,
yeah. For a working professional that can go out, rent these out, or charge for the service that these things are going to be providing, like the money you're going to make off of these things is more than justifies the cost.
Sorry to cut you off.
I just saw it with the little battery pack adapter. I just saw it recently.
There's no battery pack adapter.
There isn't?
No, I got to do a bit. I got to finish my video. I literally did a video on it, and I don't know if I got.
Because I know they
have so much content that I shot that I haven't posted. It's like crazy, because I've been using Aero spots for over a year now. I bought them, and it's a true battery powered wireless DMX moving head. And I realize people clearly don't know about it, because the thing is awesome, and I don't sell as many as you would think I would, honestly.
Mm-hmm.
And,
yeah, because then I wouldn't need any cords. Oh, that'd be great. I'm literally trying to get rid of everything if possible. Everything to be wireless.
You got
Mike,
Terry over here dreaming of a better life.
Mike,
I'm almost there.
Without cords.
I'm well aware of your pre-order, so shoot me an email. Shoot us an email, and we'll talk privately. Anybody else is watching this on the replay and it has a back order, give me a call. And I'm waiting on 1.0 stuff, man. It's like it's just crazy. I'm gonna just talk about Ape Labs probably for the next week or so. So just get used to it. And I like that Cleveland has experience with them, and I think right around quarantine they reached out to you, right, and kind of got you some.
Yeah, I got
gear to kind of
got some maxis. Yeah, I got some maxis. Got the wireless DMX bridge. Got a whole bunch of coins, which I honestly have no use for. People swear up and down. I'm like, I don't get them. If I got to plug them in, they've already lost me. So, but the cans are great. I love these guys. These, when I'm streaming, hit my turntables at the perfect angle, and it makes them look gorgeous. So I do love these, and no, they're just great, and they're easy. Like I said, the only problem I ever have is these things last forever, the maxis, but the sticks just don't last as long. So I have to spend a little more time charging those. But I love them. I actually really do love Ape Labs stuff. I need more of it.
Yeah, well, we're going to talk about that. You definitely do, because I know they didn't send you enough really to gig with, so you've used it in the studio.
Yeah.
So we'll talk about that, and definitely would love to see you, because you're a bar and bat mitzvah specialist, right?
Correct.
As well as a salsa dancer.
Rapper, singer. I do it all, man.
But I want to see these
many
things.
layers.
Yeah, I want to see these things in action for you. And then getting back real quickly to Eric's comment about the catering halls. Like, not only is it's not just catering halls, but whenever a bride says, even when I didn't have Ape Labs, I would use this answer and object in this way. If the catering hall has uplighting already, great. Can their uplighting coordinate with my music?
Right.
The answer is 100% of the time going to be no. And then that objection is done. And now you say, well, guess what? I have a special product made in Germany, has a special thing called music mode. Tell the story like I do. Whenever I tell the story, people are like, oh, okay, I'll buy it. And guess what? They're going to buy your uplighting when you tell the story this way. because this lighting allows the party to start from the walls in, as opposed to their static uplights, which are great, right? Behind me right now, it's great. But if we're dancing, I want that. I want action, you know? So that's not going to happen with their uplighting. And if you come up with a reasonable number and are a good salesperson, a bride will say yes. I'm sorry, but she will. And if you sell it right, especially if you have some good video or a good shot that you can showcase, it is an easy sale. It's like back in the day when I used to, would you like to see your name in lights? Here, let me show it to you. Oh, yeah, I'll take that. You know, $300, whatever it was. Every time it was 100% sale. It's all how you sell. It's all how you sell stuff.
It's the argument. No, you've nailed it. Like I have clients right now that are like, well, we're thinking about using you for your lights, or we're going to bring in a light person. And I'm like, that's fine, but my lights are connected to everything. So while we're dancing,
this is your light person, by the way.
Well, that too. Well, and also, I mean, a lot of times, you know, when you bring in dedicated light people, you're paying a lot more, you know, just in general. So like, I can typically sell them on, well, the fact, hey, I'm gonna move these lights around while we're dancing. They're gonna change colors. They're gonna be sound. They're gonna rock with the music. Oh, yeah. So your whole room's gonna be changing colors while we're dancing. If your light guy can do that, we're cool. We'll use him. You know, and they're usually like, no, he can't. Oh, okay. Well, there you go. You know, make it easy.
You know, and again, all right. So let's see. Ape Labs is expensive. I sell 12 cases, all that stuff. Very reasonable number, right? Mm-hmm. And I'm not going to say it publicly, but it's less than what you see on my website if you reach out to us. So if I pay that number, right now, these lights should last me, I don't know, 5 to 10 plus years. Like literally, they make it so easy to replace the batteries. They should really last you forever. The way that these things are made, especially now. So if I'm charging even $500 extra, right? You're just telling me that in 10 gigs, I make my money back. And then from now on, it's all money.
Yeah.
And you're complaining about the price of any DJ gear. That's why I always I get it's not like you're buying a new 70-inch flat screen that you're just putting up on the wall that you don't really need. Like you're going to use this to make money with it. So I get it. But again, everything's expensive, right? Everyone knows the cost of everything, but the value of nothing, they say.
Yeah, I'm the guy that's like, okay,
yeah,
I can recoup my cost. If I can recoup my cost in 3 to 5 events, it's worth buying. And you typically know when you're booking, because most people aren't booking, you know, a month out. They're booking 6 months, a year, 2 years out. So you kind of know what you have, and you know that you have the money built into there. Like when I bought my uplights from Justin, and he didn't give me a really good deal. I'm kidding. I actually got a really good deal. But when I bought them from Justin, the reason that I bought them was because I knew that I had events already booked with them. So I had to buy another set. I recovered my cost in literally 3 to 4 parties. And that's it. You know, 3 to 5. Every photo booth I've ever bought, I bought and been able to pay for the whole thing in like 2 to 3 parties. So it always makes sense.
That's really the way you should buy gear. Mm-hmm. Honestly, and I always say buy for need. But then also buy, like if you want to scale your business, you buy a Nimbus or an On-Tour Ice. You now have a Dance on the Cloud service. You know, I mean, obvious now, but 10 years ago,
nobody asks for in Southern California.
Yeah, I mean, I don't. It's funny. It's funny, but regional, you still there are some people that may not do it, but you understand that even at $14.29 now, the price shot up to, it still will make its money back. And like you just said, in this situation, you can make the money back 4 or 5 gigs. And yeah, we all just want to show up, put a controller down. And
that
really
dancing on the cloud stuff hasn't really hit the Northwest either.
Doing that.
The only one doing dancing on the cloud is DJ Barr and Jason Jedi. They're the only ones I see doing dance on the clouds.
I mean, it's a dope effect. Don't get me wrong. It's a cool effect, but the East Coast wedding market, I honestly think is a little bit ahead of where we're at on the West Coast. I think the West Coast has to follow the East Coast.
It always has been that way, though. You know, New York.
Aaron, what's up, Aaron? And apparently Aaron and Cleveland are YouTube friends. And Aaron, we're getting involved. He's a friend of the DJ's Guru here. He's been on our show. Sorry to interject, but I see him jumping in. He actually
Aaron's a good dude.
He was going to maybe jump on with us tonight or Tuesday.
Yeah,
but
we like Aaron.
yeah, Aaron's a good dude out in Minnesota. And Minnesota, how's the mustache, Aaron? So he's a big Ape Labs fan, and organically, again, I knock on people's doors. So he's going to be helping us out with some Ape Labs promos and getting the word out there, because he's a big fan of someone who just organically has used it and likes the product. And he just is saying he booked it. And I saw him with the Ape Sticks on social media. He put them out there and made some comment about lightsabers and used it as an interactive piece, which is something that I do all the time. I've shown pictures. We do a lot of nightclubs and stuff. So like I say, chicks dig sticks. They do. And as soon as a girl sees you holding that, she's like, what is that? And then it's in the crowd, and it becomes like an interactive item. It's really cool. But what's up, Aaron? Thanks for watching, man. Yes. I don't know what you're talking about. Oh, ROI. It's all about ROI. It's all about ROI. And anyone who's talked to me on the phone, at some point, I'll mention that, and we'll say, well, now you'll be able to do this, or it's either got to be ROI or a self-care or a quality of life improvement purchase. It makes sense.
Yeah.
Like
it made your life easier or something,
or whatever, something like that. Yeah. Or because you don't have one, those are the things that you got to spend money. It's great to have a newest controller, but DJ controllers don't make. Having a newest controller does not make you money.
No, it does not. You're right. No, and they don't care. Guys. They don't care what you're using as long as you're playing the right music.
No, I think behind a booth most of the time.
Yeah.
I think the problem that a lot of guys run into, especially in this business, because so much of this stuff is cool, right?
Yes.
These controllers, I know you said not to talk about them, but they're cool. Okay, that's all I'm gonna say. The controllers are cool. The speakers are cool.
I have no problem with it, but
the lighting stuff that we get to play with is cool. This tech is cool. Shit. It's the reason I got into DJing in 1998, right? Like because I was a computer nerd. I wanted to play with the cool toys the DJs got to play with back then, and the toys have only gotten cooler since then. Okay, so cool toys is part of being a DJ, and the problem is a lot of guys that get into this, they see it as buying cool toys, and you have to get away from the purchase mentality, and you have to be thinking about it as an investment mentality. It is a business. You are investing in your business. Yes, it's a cool thing to buy, but you're buying it for the purpose of making money with it, and that is the difference.
Switch, talk about go since we're on that topic. How you making money with this bad boy?
Oh, you mean this thing right back here?
Yeah, how you making money with that?
I use it for my monitor too.
And you reviewed that too, Cleveland.
I did. It's one of my favorite things that's been released.
Point of view on this one too.
You see, Terry, I knew there was a reason I liked you.
Yo, Cleveland, you didn't know this, but DJ Switch is taking over every coffee shop in Alaska where he lives.
I don't live in Alaska.
He's bring the Thumpco, his Rain One, his DJ's Guru.
God,
it's gonna be awesome.
This fucking guy.
How many cables?
So all right, look.
How many cables?
One
cable.
One cable.
Awesome.
And you don't even. And I've used it as a cocktail speaker where I plugged in the Sennheiser wireless DMX. Didn't even have a cable.
Zero cables. Yeah, if you go that route, you just use zero cables.
Yeah.
No. So the Mackie Thump Go, which is the speaker. That's the speaker that I got behind me. That's the speaker that we're talking about. It's an 8-inch 200-watt portable professional PA speaker that has a built-in battery that will last between 6 and 8 hours at maximum volume. Or the battery will last longer if you aren't at maximum volume, which is fantastic. Oh, guys, come on.
We don't work for Mackie at all. That's what's funny.
Yeah, none of us actually work for Mackie. Well, I mean, Justin, you sell Mackie stuff, but like we don't actually work for Mackie.
You can order it at djbankier.com. Absolutely, go ahead.
So here's my thought on the Mackie Thump Go, and the reason why I love this thing so much. Never mind the fact that like other companies are making battery powered speakers, which by the way, the other companies that are making battery powered speakers, the JBL, the the B word that we're not supposed to mention, even the American Audio battery powered speaker, which I've heard mixed reviews about, but I'll just throw that in there because honestly, for this purposes, it's fine for what
it's $249. Okay,
it is what it is. This speaker, this Mackie Thump Go at about $400,
great for the price.
Is amazing for the price. And check this out. So here's my thought, and this is why he mentioned the coffee shop thing, because I've talked about this a little bit. I plan on making a full video about this, but I've put together a setup that cost me less than $1,000 that is entirely battery powered.
Oh, wonderful.
Where I can go pop up in any coffee shop, on any street corner, anywhere I want to play in the world. I can pop up a tiny USB-powered setup with no need to plug into AC power or ask anyone's permission anywhere, and I can DJ for 2 to 3 hours and hand out business cards.
Yo, when is it going to come? When is it going to come back like the 80s where you got...
Didn't you see my video?
People
Didn't you see my video?
That little $400 speaker is going to make me so much freaking money. It's not even
seen my video.
Disgusting. So I did see your review of the Mackie Thump Go.
You do that?
Which by the way was a fantastic video, Terry. But putting this little like backpack like busking system together is something that I've been working on for a while. And the thing that I loved about your video was that you weren't, unlike other reviewers, and again, I'm not going to name names, but basically every other person that I've seen talk about this speaker is obsessed with ceremonies, wedding ceremonies.
Mm-hmm.
This is the perfect wedding ceremony speaker. This is going to be amazing for wedding ceremonies. Oh my God, I can use this for wedding ceremonies. So fucking what? Sorry. No disrespect to wedding DJs out there in the world. I know it's a big market, and I know DJs make a lot of money doing weddings. I'm not going to pretend like I didn't spend the last 20 years playing weddings myself. That's not what I'm saying. What I'm saying is the wedding ceremonies is about that much of the potential for battery-powered DJ gear, and I don't believe that DJs out there are really using this technology the way that it should be and can be used. And we're just barely scratching the surface. It's the 21st century, y'all. And we're only just bringing DJing into the modern age with $400 speakers like that guy right there.
There's a lot of ways a DJ can use this other than for. First of all, I don't know if it's a small ceremony maybe, but I always think about ceremonies outside, but there's so many ways you can use this other than that, and there's so many other people than DJs that can use it.
Then how come all these other DJs reviewing that speaker aren't talking about anything other than?
I don't know. You gotta ask them, dude. I don't know.
So like legitimately, Terry so far is the only exception that I've seen that's mentioned anything other than wedding ceremonies that you can be using this freaking speaker for. And by the way, let me tell you this: the last 3 weeks in a row, I have taken that speaker to my 2-hour band rehearsals, and I have not charged it because I forgot. Mm-hmm. So without even charging the battery, I've taken that thing to band rehearsal, forgot to charge it when I took it home, and then like the following week took it back to band rehearsal. And so I've now gone through 3 different rehearsals where I've used that as a monitor for my rehearsal, and still haven't even charged it.
I've used it now 3 different ways because I do have 2 of them. One of them stays in here. It is my DJ monitor when I'm streaming. So that's the first thing. Yeah.
This thing is such a great monitor. So, like, if you are going to use it for ceremony or cocktail, bring it in and use it for your monitor too. So you can
which is exactly what I do. So the other one is for cocktail and is my monitor. I got a party
and you have an XLR out.
Exactly.
You can do it wirelessly, right? As
exactly. Yeah. Although pro tip, you lift those Sennheisers up as high as you can go because they hate human beings.
That's true. Yeah. That's true. Line of sight, baby.
Yeah, exactly. And I also I got a party this weekend, and it's like backyard party, 40 people. COVID took them down. They had a 200-person party. Now it's in their backyard. So I'm bringing 2 of those, and that's what I'm going to use. I'm background music. So why do I need to bring in, either my Bose or my JBLs? Like, no, I'm just bringing those and call it a day. They're good enough sound wise for a backyard cocktail party. I will say that.
Yeah, I think that I agree with that. With what you just said. I mean, I can't not agree with it. You did it. So, but 100% I validate. I approve that message. Really quickly, because I it's getting late here. I don't want to keep much longer. Before we go, we got a lot of activity in the comments. You got a lot of great fans out there. Cleveland Switch, you too. So thank you guys both for coming on, joining us. The fam tonight. And real quick, if anyone has any questions for Cleveland, for Switch, ask them now or forever hold your peace. But I think we'll probably have this guy on again. He's doing really well, and we're gonna.
Thanks. I'm trying really hard. Oh, you mean Terry?
Michael John in the building. Good to see you, man.
I'm trying to build something here for DJs. So if I can work with DJs, that's the dream. That's the dream. So I'm really happy to have met you and Switch, you too. But I'm very selective, So thank you guys. Mike West checking in. What's up, Michael John? What's up? It's nice.
What is he driving now? He's a Ferrari. I mean, the man is driving all kinds of cars. I'm jealous. Mike West.
Oh yeah.
I know Mike is he's a mobile DJ guy. He's got club life too, but whatever he's doing, I'll have some of that, please. Just a little bit.
That mobile DJ life has got to be rough when you got to climb into your Ferrari at the end of the gig,
That's when you need all your Ape Labs stuff.
If you're watching this back on the replay, what was your favorite product that maybe you purchased since the quarantine? What has worked out the best for you? And another thing, outside of the DJ world, I'm gonna shout this out. Switch, you can attest for this one. Probably the best product that I have purchased, to be quite honest with you, for my business has been the Sony ZV-1 camera that has allowed me to produce and this fantastic laptop that keeps shutting off.
A7 IV.
My tech has allowed me, and some of these great platforms like StreamYard, Artlist.io, I'm going to shout them out for royalty-free music.
Mm-hmm.
Canva. I use Canva a lot. Great for graphic design and making videos and things like that for social media. Shout out to my man Joel, my graphic designer. We got an artist now. We're trying to pump it all up. But
nice.
Those are the things actually that have been the best for me. The investments I've made in my business and myself, and that. But this camera has been really good. So remember, infrastructure can help you, not just the nuts and the bolts.
I will give everybody a pro tip. So first off, my favorite device that I've used and I continue to use is my Denon Prime Go. It, for what it is, it's almost a perfect little machine, and I can take it with me everywhere. And in the event that something's failing on the computer, whatever, like before I moved over to this XMG right here, the XMG15 that they sent me, before I moved over to that, I was using my MacBook and I was having serious overheating issues, and that Denon Prime Go absolutely saved my life. So it's a great device. I know people think it's a little expensive, but for what it is, it's a perfect backup. And you don't need another computer. It works. It's battery powered. It's just genius. But here's a pro tip. And then the other thing is probably, spending all this time in quarantine, building, like, this isn't how the set first started. It has changed, over time. And now it's like at a place where everything's perfect. I got my flat panels here. I got my key lights, all that. But what I will tell you is this. The best thing that I've ever done now is start having my Zoom/Google Meet meetings here instead of trying to do it like at my desk or at a table, because the moment people click on, the moment I'm like, I'm online, people do this. Oh, because they're looking at their shitty ass Apple, maybe their laptop camera, and then my stuff is just like vibrant and popping. I've booked, I think, so many more events just because it looks like I know what the hell I'm doing.
Tell them, Terry. Tell them what's up.
It's important. It's important.
Yeah.
How you look is important.
It's important to know what to look like and know what you're doing.
Yeah.
Even if you
Yes.
don't. Even if you don't.
Right.
But you should also know what you're doing. But
Agreed.
there's also, but you know what though? It's funny because again, the video side, I don't know if you went through this too, Cleveland. I don't know what your background was. I went right and I was talking to a customer about something and I went, I gotta get a DSLR, right?
Mhm.
And I learned very quickly the DSLR is not for me. I'm like, lenses, what? I'm like, fuck this shit. No way. I don't have time. I can't. I'm dedicated to this. I'm dedicated to this. That's it. I'm all DJ.
I got tons of. I started with the Lumix lineup. I got a G9, a G7, another G7 over there. I just bought the A7 IV literally like 2 weeks ago. And the only reason why I bought it, I was waiting on the GH6 to see what they were going to do with it. They announced it that day, that literal minute. I was like, okay. And then I pulled up Sammy's camera. I'm like, do you guys have any A7 IVs in stock? I'll come wherever you got one closest by. So I love my A7 IV. And the only reason why I love it is because I don't have to think about focus. I don't have to think about if I'm in focus or any of that stuff. That's it.
Wait, so
I need it. So what you were saying about
you have the DSLR,
personal,
but you have the not the Canon, the other brand,
Lumix,
Panasonic, right?
Yeah,
and that has very good autofocus. The G5, you said?
No, it has horrible autofocus, but it has horrible autofocus, but amazing.
That's the reason why it was. I thought that was the. You know what? I bought it. And I had it sell it, so I had.
It's a stabilization. The Lumix stabilization is some of the best out there. Yeah. So that's why you buy that camera. But you were talking about the kind of stuff for yourself to help you out, and I got tired of looking at my videos going, oh, look at the thing. It's focusing. Everything's pulsing in the background. What the hell? This doesn't. And people are like, hey, it's really annoying that your camera's doing that. I'm like, oh, I'm so over this. So I upgraded it, but now I can do cool stuff. You know, and actually, I think I'm at 3.5 right now, so it's going to be everything's open. But
I wanted to show you. You see the back of my wall.
Yes.
You see, we got brick now. It's very.
I see that.
It's totally real white brick. No, these are plastic panels.
Oh,
and
okay.
I'm like, yeah, and I'm like, I don't know. I'm not crazy about the step and repeat thing, but I'm leaving it. And I'm like, but it needs more. And I got the whole between two ferns thing going on. I like that.
I gotta see if mine's working. That's why I'm not working at the moment. Now I need to see. Keep talking.
But it's getting, if you are a content creator and you're putting yourself up in front of the world and allowing yourself to be judged. You know, everyone always has things to say. I mean, I'm out there with the company name called the DJ's Guru, and people misunderstand it. And the guru is a guy. That's, you know, I'll continue to say that. But you know, you got to be able to back it up. But you have to build.
Why is my camera not working?
I don't know what you're doing.
It's every time I got on with you. Now nothing works. You broke. I'm kidding. Yeah, very interesting.
No, that's fine. I'll take. Listen, I'm good at that. I take the blame.
Let's see. We back?
You gotta.
There it is. There it is.
Love it. There you go. Nice. That's really nice.
It's clear.
It does look really good. You gotta have the right with a job, so you do have to invest some. You know, listen.
Costs money.
Yeah, you can do a YouTube channel with an iPhone. Absolutely, iPhone takes great pictures, but I'm telling you, if you're gonna really do it, do it. Spend you know, I don't know how much I spent, but it wasn't that much. That
for the ZV, the ZV is a moderately priced.
On the microphone, the right stuff to be able to do this type of stuff. I pay obviously for StreamYard monthly, but I went out and I got, for me, what worked the best, but also I used some of the better platforms, and I spent more than some of these other things because I wanted to have all the features. So, Justin. Listen, I just finished my taxes. I didn't make any money last year.
I know exactly.
Don't.
I know exactly how much I spent, and I don't want to talk about it.
But you know what? I know I'm going to, and I couldn't do it without these tools. And then also feeling comfortable is another thing, where having the right camera angles, like you said, and having things in the right spot. I work better in this environment now. Even when I'm sitting here, I just feel more comfortable. You know,
And then you can do stuff like this, and go to my other camera view.
Oh, I like that. I like that. I don't know.
That is a lovely shot.
I've lost internet twice during the show. I don't know about a second camera. You know? I'm happy when I can get through the stream without any problems.
No, you don't understand.
Episode 16.
Right now, I literally have an Ethernet cable going all the way to my router, going down my hallway into my router because my wireless bridges haven't been consistently reliable. So, been there, done that.
Yeah, that clearly happened to me tonight. Ever since I got this new computer, though, the internet connection is not as great. I don't know what it is.
Interesting.
Truthfully, I should be connected to the internet on an LAN right now, and I'm not. I'm going to be honest. I'm sorry, everybody, but I'm not because this freaking computer doesn't have one. You gotta buy a little dumb question. It's not a dumb question. Can I get an LAN like adapter switch for a Mac?
Yeah. For a Mac, yeah.
Okay.
Yep.
Good. See?
Yes.
I don't know. I learned something.
Just USB-C to Ethernet is all you need.
USB-C to Ethernet. Okay.
Yeah.
Cool.
Yeah.
And it doesn't even have to be an Apple product. You can get them from like Amazon and stuff. So
I love
you're
it.
good.
Yeah. It costs you like $15.
We don't ever go to Amazon. We don't like Amazon.
Okay. All right. I recommend everybody go to djeventgear.com.
No, I don't fucking. Dude, I'm on the phone today sending people to eBay for shit that I didn't have because I'm like, oh, go to Amazon. No, I'm like, don't go to Amazon. Go to eBay. I'm like, A, you're probably going to be able to get a better price there. That's the most. Amazon is not. It's like more expensive, guys.
It can be.
And they make you pay. They make you pay for ground shipping.
I'm a Prime member, so I don't see it. Yeah, but I agree.
Pay to shop with them. It's amazing. It's incredible. It's incredible.
So Prime streaming is pretty good, though. I'm not gonna lie.
Speaking of DJ controllers,
it's
I think
it's hit or miss with the TV stuff. Yeah. Sometimes I'll catch some really good stuff, and then I won't get anything for 2 months. But then I'll get a good streak, and I'm like, oh, I love this. It's awesome.
Yeah. When the Expanse comes back out, I'm like, yes, Prime, the Expanse, thank you. And then it goes off. I'm like, what do I do now?
Hold on, wait. Oh, all right, we got a question. Oh, wait, hold on. First of all, what's up, DJ Sixberg? I like that.
Oh, Sixberg. Yeah,
from St. Augustine. Oh, damn.
Yeah, this guy's global, man. I love it. Paul Brothers, Bomb Red. I love it. Fake it till you make it. Yeah, I agree with that. Like 90%. Like you better fake it, but you better fucking make it. I think that should be the saying. Fake it, fine, but you better fucking make it. Don't be that asshole that doesn't show up or fucks up the gig or whatever. Don't be that guy. Don't take it. Don't take it if you can't make it.
Don't take the job if it's like, hey, I'm having a Persian party with half Persian and half Africans. Is that a party you can do? And you're like, yeah, no problem.
I'll find you. A Spanish speaking MC. Yeah, I got that. I'm on Craigslist like, I need a Spanish speaking MC. Like,
over it.
That's not a gig I should have taken. It wasn't worth the energy, honestly.
Yeah, I got one just recently. The lady was like, "Hey, can you do this?" I'm like, "Tell me about it." She goes, "Oh, well, it's a very Lynchian is what they call it, Lynchian type vibe." I'm like, "What do you mean, like David Lynch?" Yeah, like Twin Peaks guy. What kind of music? Oh, we want like alternative, like old school '80s punk, mixed with this and some darker music. And I'm like, "Look, Bauhaus," and I'm like, "Look, I know that stuff." But
whoa, hold up. She said Bauhaus?
She said Bauhaus.
Okay.
Yeah. And then after that, I was like,
I'm out. I'm
not the guy for you. I'm not the guy for you. Good luck.
Let me tell you something, everybody. I learned this, and I continue to get better at saying no. But learn to say no several times a week. It feels, when you don't feel bad about it, it feels so good to say no to something that you genuinely can't or do not want to do. You don't have to say yes to everything to people. And I'm learning this on the phone. Mm-hmm. People think that I know everything. I don't know everything. I promise you. I learn. I don't know everything. I know everybody I'm one phone call away from the answer, but I don't know everything. And then I work with speakers, but not these types of speakers. Like I can't get you car speakers. I can't, I'm like,
I have a boat and I'm looking for some
Liam
stealth
Neeson.
subs. Can you handle that for me, please?
So let me tell you guys, over the last several years, actually about a decade now, I've been kind of splitting my time between like the professional bar and club scene here in Portland, like trying to make a living as a club DJ that also does like, you know, private events, mobile events and that stuff occasionally, but mostly bars and clubs, right? But then also I have a little bit of a niche in the nerd community, like I mentioned before, where I'm doing, you know, nerdy events. I work with like a local Harry Potter group. I work with a local Ghostbusters group. I also work in the retro gaming scene. I also work in the Comic-Con scene, right? So within those more niche scenes, I do work with other DJs that are more like hobby DJs.
Mm-hmm.
DJs that aren't trying to pay their bills with their turntables, that do it, that have maybe been doing it for a while, and you know, maybe have some experience under their belt, but this is not like their only way of making an income, or isn't their only, you know, way of sustaining themselves, right? And I've been able to find a lot of value in those types of DJs that would be a great fit for a party where a David Lynchian type vibe, where they might have a little more of a comfortable Bauhaus selection.
Yeah.
You know, and so having those DJs in my, you know, in my phone list, and having a relationship with some DJs like that I can refer out, there's some value in that. Mm-hmm. And I've had some of them that have hit me up being like, yo, Switch, I think I've got a gig that would be a good fit for you. You know, because it's not really my type of thing, but I think you'd be great for it.
See, what you're describing is
they would love you at the Cradle of Aviation here on Long Island. Do this gaming convention. Oh man, they would kill it there.
I'm sure I would.
But what you're describing is respect among peers, and that's
right.
Not.
It's weird.
It's not normally found with DJs. You know,
right?
Because I mean, I have a couple of
DJs lack confidence. Is that why?
Yeah. Like they wouldn't even think about it. They would take that gig, even though they know they shouldn't, and they could have given it to Switch, but they didn't, and now everybody's losing because of it.
Yeah, including most importantly the customer, which is always at the forefront of my mind. No matter what I am doing, I don't care if it's for selling gear, if I'm giving advice, if I'm going to a restaurant and turning it into a club. I'm thinking about the person walking through the door, who's on the other end of the phone or receiving the package, and their experience every time. And if you're not doing that retail, then you're in the wrong business, because that's what it's all about. And
I think I told this.
There's DJs and there's good DJs, right?
Right.
If you're not a good DJ, just understand that, like, we all start somewhere, and it's okay to roadie. It's okay to go and watch and shadow. It's okay to do these things. That's how you get better. And
you should shadow anyway.
We don't screw up anybody's most important day by being haphazard about, oh, I can do this, when you really can't. You know,
I
know you were kidding. I totally know you were kidding, Danny. So
no, but everybody. I say this and nobody wants to hear me, but you as a DJ get stuck in your own little bubble of what you do. Okay. This is my group. I do weddings and nobody's complaining about my weddings. So I'm fine. I'm a great DJ. Instead of going, you know what? I need to see whatever.
Dangerous word in this business. Fine.
Yeah.
It's very dangerous.
Exactly. But I need to.
It should be great. It should be great.
True. But I need to see other people. So I will go and film like my other DJs when I don't have to like be on a gig. I'll go and film the MCs for work for the company. Like, okay, we get extra footage. And then while I'm filming, I'm hearing the other DJs and I'm like, oh, hey, he just did something that I wouldn't have even thought of. Oh, that was a cool little transition right there. And that's what we should be doing, because if you get stuck in your rut and you think you're fine, you're going to fail. And that's why we get so many gigs, because people see the bar mitzvah scene and they see other DJs and they're like, oh, first they go, oh, they're fine. And then they see us and they say, oh, okay, there's levels to this. So
I did an event and they were doing the play from Spotify. This is so easy. Yeah. Oh, no, why are you charging me? I go, listen, I know what you are doing is not what I'm going to do. I promise you.
Right.
It's as easy as you want it to be. That's why I always say, fine. It's fine. Yeah. All right. Sure. But then you see great, and you're like, oh fuck, like okay, just a little bit more effort maybe. So I did the event, and he's like, oh, okay, yeah, I get it. I mixed all the music, I programmed it a different way, I went at it as opposed to having just a song and then another song after maybe a potentially silence. You have to think about the night, the event as like a record or like a piece of art, where
it's a whole vibe.
Story.
It's a whole vibe.
It's a beginning, a middle, and an end. You have to think about it that way, and you're creating this experience. And if you do that, I promise you, people will be happy. A, B, they're going to come back, and you're going to get referrals. 100%.
Exactly.
I will.
You don't need to advertise. You don't have to go on Facebook and spend money.
I haven't advertised $1 for what we do here.
I don't want to DJ really that much. I honestly don't. I really prefer to DJ here, and it's like because I do things a certain way. Like I get asked, and then I'm like, all right, I don't have my daughter that day. I guess I'll make some extra money or whatever. And like I said, that's why I've been more into the production side of it. But you got to do it a certain way, man. You got to really approach it in a certain way. And
it's a job, just like anything else. You got to treat it like a job, and you got to go in there, do the work, research per every party you do. Not every, a lot of people will be like, oh, it's just like the last party. Maybe, but maybe it's not. And you have to be prepared for it. Party in a box doesn't work for every party.
I will never forget something that happened to me in mid 2018. It was like right at the beginning of summer 2018. I was working at this place where I was doing like a mix of karaoke and DJing, and I was doing it 3 nights a week, and I was making okay money because I was working consistently, and I was for bar pay, I was making decent pay 3 nights a week, and I was doing okay. But I was looking for a change, and so I went and interviewed with this bar owner that wanted to hire me, and they wanted to replace a guy who was doing a karaoke show running YouTube videos. And I'm well aware of the 5-figure minimum fine that comes with that, along with all of the other technical problems that can come with that, as well as the absolute lack of professionalism that comes with that. So like I was not concerned going in there thinking that like I subscribe to a professional karaoke service. I'm technically proficient enough to understand how different formats of HDMI cable work, and how to set up a proper karaoke rig in a room where I've got multiple TVs and all that stuff. So I'm thinking this is not going to be a problem for me. Cut to like a week later. And I go walking in there, and their regular karaoke guy that's been there forever is still there, showing up 20 minutes late and still setting up his YouTube videos. And they've got this new general manager that they hired on, and the general manager, not so politely, tells me, we're not going to need you to come back here. And I said, and so I go, okay. And I remember in this moment, I was just past the 20-year mark in my career, and I had this like really crystallizing moment of realizing I'm not even mad. I actually legitimately feel sorry for these folks because they have no clue what they're kicking out the door, and in the interest of like staying loyal to this guy that could end up burning down their entire business. Mm-hmm. And so I just politely explained to them, listen, I understand. Thanks for your time. You should probably know, those YouTube videos, if anyone from, ASCAP or BMI or any of those companies that represent the record labels comes walking in the door, you're going to get slapped with a minimum 5-figure fine. That guy is a cancer on this whole business, and he will bring the entire place down, and no one will have anywhere to work.
Speaking of going down,
you should be aware of that. And so I said good luck, and I walked out the door. And like I remember going home that night thinking this like they have no clue. it was honestly the best thing that ever happened to me, because for the next year and a half until the pandemic happened, I was busier than I've ever been. I made more money than I ever had. And I did not know that not being tied down to a single bar was going to end up making me a free agent and making me so much busier and having me play so many more places and be so much more in demand than I even realized I was going to be.
We definitely get stuck sometimes with and apathetic in doing the same things a lot. A lot of DJs. I know plenty of DJs in my area that I know it. I've heard what they're making still for these places, and I'm like, why? Oh, I'm afraid I'm going to lose to get so consistent. So you realize you could maybe figure out a different way, do one gig and make more money than what you're getting at 4 gigs here, right?
Trust me when I tell you, I run into that left and right now, right? You know, all the DJs that work for us are the same way. They're like,
yeah, but it's so easy. I just gotta. I'm like, you're actually bringing all the gear too. It's like,
yeah,
it's crazy. You know,
we've had to pay all of our DJs more money, just because of, you know, obviously COVID and people come back now. They have a new lease on life, and they're like, I need to make money. I need to do things that make me happy. So that is something we're dealing with as far as people wanting more money. We had to raise our rates to cover that kind of stuff. And now we have to raise our rates again. You know, gas prices are shooting through the roof. It's like, you know, that whole yesterday's price is not today's price meme. Like, I've never felt so like, this is it. Like today you might pay a price, tomorrow it might be a completely different price. I can't guarantee anything.
But we manage 2 websites, and I will tell you that within, you know, out of, let's say 50 brands, you've had some manufacturers that have had up to 4 price changes, new sheets. Since I want to say it started like in July, August, and the price.
Yeah, it's all recent stuff too. It's not like a year ago. It's like, oh my God, every time you come out with a new price, somebody comes out with more drama. You're like, oh, I got to compensate for that.
You telling me it's $10 more now? Really? Like I get a map violation or whatever? Like, come on, no one's gonna buy it at that price, and it's $10 more.
Yeah, and yet people keep spending the money. I've yet to raise my prices enough to people are like, you're too expensive.
And when I talk about how much, when I really do look at the return on investment of some of the stuff, I actually am like, you know what? Some of it is kind of underpriced when I look at it. Like even the RCF price increases, you know, I go back to it and I look at it and I'm like, it's still better value than stuff that might even be more expensive, a lot of it. So anyway, listen.
What's the big RCF system? The one that compares to the Maui? What's the price range for that one?
Box 12 is now $28.99 per side. It's a system. You have 15 at the bottom. You have 8 4-inch drivers at the top. It's a 1400 watt, 1000 to the bottom, 400 to the top. And you know what's funny? I like that you brought that up, because the industry needed the right buyer and the right marketer guy, and a man of the people of the DJ world that understood what they wanted, to say, why don't they make a white Evox 12?
Mm-hmm.
So the sales manager of RCF, I want to go back 4 years, brought this idea to me. But RCF, when they do a special, first of all, they don't want to make it in white, quite honestly. So if they're going to do it, they're like the mafia, and they're like, all right, we need all the money up front,
right,
before we ship it, in cash. Right? Most retail, I mean, I don't say most, pretty much no retailer is going to do that. It's not how they really do business, not the RCF dealers. So unfortunately, you never saw it, because quite honestly, no retailer would buy them, bring them in.
Makes sense.
So organically, you know, as I built this new company, one of my projects has been to make this happen, because I had a core of DJs that wanted it, and I knew I had 15 sets. I already have 15 sets sold yesterday. I needed to do 25, right? So if anyone's watching this that has pre-ordered, it's now, we're talking 2nd or 3rd week of April. But there is going to be 25 sets of these that they're already pre-sold. DJs have already purchased them, now waiting since. Some of them waiting back almost a year.
Jesus.
So they have been. It's like a Kickstarter that we did because a lot of them put in deposit money to help us to get this thing done. But long story short, you're going to now have white EVOX 12, and because we had so much success with the first 25 sets, it allowed us to bring in another 100 sets. So if anyone does want the white EVOX 12, I know CE was on the fence. He was. We talked about it, but if you're looking for a wedding system, a lot of wedding DJs out there, but or just a multi-purpose system, and you want to go column array, the two that I would absolutely recommend, not even close, for best fit, and scalability, where you're going to be able to do the 150 person gigs, no problem. And of course, everything is always room dependent. Sure. But, if we're doing larger events, I mean, I've done 500 plus people outdoors. Is it booming? No, but it didn't need to be. It was on the dance floor, but you can do that many people outside. But inside a wedding, when you do those larger events, 200 plus, no problem. So it gives you that ability. But this and the LD Maui 44G2, which is a close competitor and has some additional bells and whistles, are definitely, if you're looking at portable column, right, and there's a reason why you can't really get them right now. They just, the Evolve 50 is a great system, has its limitations though. It just does. And I think it's, first of all, it's absolutely beautifully made and stunning to look at. So aesthetically, it's the nicest one out there, I think. But, if you are looking for that next level, you want to talk about EVOX 12 or my new baby coming soon, the TT series from RCF, the 505 and the 808.
Is that the small one?
And I'll show you.
Sundown and they all come out. Lamborghinis and they're running hummus. The party's on, so they're heading downtown. Everybody's looking for a come up.
It's a great sounding system.
This stream just got shut down on Facebook.
Not yet. They're waiting right now.
No, I'll get a message in 6 months that I got a flag.
Yeah, right.
Now I'm getting them 6 months later. Like, they released the claim. I'm like, oh, thank God. I was so worried about that. SME, thank you for releasing your claim on the live stream I did, where I did an acapella of Julia McKnight.
I didn't even know why they're really don't put the claim out there. It's so stupid. That RCF I was really, really impressed by, and not so much. I wouldn't use that for a huge party, but like, it just sounded good, and the footprint is so small. Like, I was super impressed by it.
RCF is not playing around when it comes to the way they tune their stuff. They always have been real serious about their tuning.
How many would you recommend?
It's an invisible sound system.
Yeah.
So, the wedding customer may not gravitate towards this to more the event person who wants scalability, needs portability. Like, understand that you can get the same around the same sound, maybe even more output out of the highs because of the dedicated amplifiers from this system than you can from an EVOX 12. And I think you saw it in the video. They're right. It's 48 pound sub. Like, that's the game changing technology that it's like saying, hi, I have a computer in my hand, right? It's that kind of game changing ability. Yeah. I mean, I haven't heard it in real life yet, so I'm going to hold my comments back. But for me, the way that I do events, and because I am a lot of times in these higher end restaurants and things like that, to have a system that I can move stuff around almost where it's like a satellite system, run some cable or whatever, and build it in that way and scale it, because you can buy multiple subs and stack them. And then you can also use the tops by themselves on poles for sound reinforcement. Not
because they're full range, right? The tops.
Yeah.
Okay.
It's for me and a lot of people, because I've already had a lot of conversations about this. It's a really impressive system. And, again, this is something that's going to last you forever. And it's like, they're like weatherproof as well. There's so many great features on it. So that's pretty much, I think, it in that category, in that like under $3,000 range, where until you get into like, the NX series from RCF, like 24 and those types of columns. And like, I like the TT where there's individual amplifiers. You know, I think FBT makes a couple of systems that are pretty cool that are worth looking at. And LD makes that Porsche system that's like even more expensive. But those are pretty much the ones. I mean, I've been now using RCF Evox 12, the black, for 2 years. I asked you my second review that I ever did. First one was the HD10. Thank you to Justin Brock for helping me out at the beginning. I'll never forget that. And it was very organic because I sold so many systems, and I never really demoed it. You know, like I did it in the sound room and at our old stores and things like that where I used to work. But it was really cool to do it. So it's a great system, and I have used that in so many different ways, and it's very versatile. It's super dependable, sounds phenomenal, and it looks exactly the same today than it did when I bought it. And I work in like where there's people completely drunk, you know, like crazy, like house music events, like, you know, they're dancing like crazy. There's circles and stuff gets really messy. And I wipe it off, and it's, you know, next gig. Great. No.
All right. Easy
What
enough.
you know what? I'm going to let you go after this.
Mm-hmm.
We're having a good time. It doesn't seem like I'm not getting that feeling like you have to go. So I'm going to ask you one more question.
No, please. Yeah.
Yeah. And I want to give some respect to, you know, to Bose and having you on. I don't know what the relationship is or how you got that product, but I've seen it in the comments. So you have a new system from Bose. What is it? And how
He said the B word.
yeah,
I'm using the
Bose.
Bose.
Doesn't mean it doesn't exist. I'm not that company, you know.
Yeah.
I want people to know what's out there, and if it makes sense to buy from me, please buy from me. If not, go for what makes sense for you.
Yeah, no, Bose reached out to me to review
They're
the
great
product.
people over there, by the way.
They really are. So they sent me the Bose. They first sent me just the single side of the Bose L132 sub and the column array, and it was good. I did the review like, hey, this is a really good thing, but I needed to have the other side because it felt a little lopsided. So then they sent me the high. Oh no, they sent me the sub. They sent me a second sub. And then it really felt lopsided. So then they finally sent me the other piece. So I'm gonna. Oh, sorry.
What just happened?
Yeah, I don't know what just happened there.
I went on Facebook.
Oh, gotcha.
Turn your radio off. It's like when you're listening to call
Jeez.
and they're listening to themselves. That's what happened.
Gotcha.
This guy.
So here's the thing. In full disclosure, I have not used any other column array, line array system out there. Okay. Bose was my first experience with it. So
I will interject really quickly. What I really liked about you, you're very humble and you're honest, and you came into the RCF room, and it was like, if we talked about a DJ controller, like a Rev 7 or a Rain 1, I would defer to you, honestly.
Mm-hmm.
But when we were talking about sound, it was like, I was able to actually educate you a little bit, and it was cool, but you were very open to just listening the same way that I would about a DJ control. When I listen to Switch talk about PC and how much he sleeps with it and all that, like, I do want to learn just as much. So I love that about you, and I just wanted to say that.
Thank you. Yeah, I'm not gonna. What I have learned,
right?
Yeah, what I have learned is that, if you go into it acting like you know everything, people will smell it a mile away, and then all it does is just hurt your own credibility. So it's better if I talk about. So even when I talk about the Bose, I'm like, it's coming from an experience of, okay, I normally use, full on separate systems, like I'm an SRX guy. So I got my SRXs and the 828s. And if anything, I'm using like the Eons or the 515 XTs because I hate the 600 series that they came out with. So I never upgraded my Eons. And so when I got the Bose, the first thing I noticed was the clarity. The bass, the high, they're tuned very well together. And I was very, very impressed by them. Also impressed by just the sheer size of them, being able to transport them to subs, and the subs are very good. The L132 sub, the sub 2, is a very good sub. I'm very, very, like, I've used the sub 2s with my SRXs. If I didn't have room for like the A28, I'll grab those and then put those right underneath them, and everything sounds amazing on them. Now, the clarity is amazing. The one thing that I don't love about Bose, and I don't know if this is something that happens with all of them, is when you finally reach that level. Okay, Bose sounds very good in two different ways. One, if it's just the music playing, and or it's just the microphone. But if you're throwing in, like, you know, you're dancing hard and the MC's on there and he's going loud, sometimes you will hear the internal compressor kick in.
When you mean when you need dynamic sound?
No, not so much dynamic.
Is it just me, or did it get real catty in here?
No, but I mean, he just kind of proved my point.
Whoa.
I like it's. I have nothing against Bose, but that should never happen, ever.
Yeah.
Ever.
Well, because I will hear the compressor kick in sometimes, and I'm like, we're not that loud. Why is the compressor kicking in right now? Because the microphone is pushing way too much, and whatever algorithm they have in there can get a little extreme. Because that's what happened with the subs at first.
You may never get anything from Bose again, by the way.
Well, no. Well, the subs happened, and I kept saying, I don't know. They seem like they're giving out way too early. Like, I'm not pushing them that hard. And then there was an update, and then the subs sounded better. It's almost like when, you know, the Sony A7 IV, where it had heat issues, and they were like, oh, just turn on the high heat, and then you don't have this problem anymore. Same concept. So I'm just like, I know the limitations of the Bose. I know the room it can be in, and I know where it can go. I wouldn't go above 150 and with the Bose, with both of them, unless it was a super small room. Because I've been dealing with larger rooms, but they have shallower areas. Like, you know, the dance floor is in the middle of the room and the tables are on the long side and we're in the middle shooting to the shorter side of the walls. So I love that. Now, that's the only issue that I've ever run into, where every so often the gain, and it's only on specific MCs that are louder, and that's when I'll notice it. But like, I haven't had the bass used to cut out before they updated the subs. Like, when it got too hot, it was like, okay, we're gonna cool down for a minute, and I'd have no bass. So they fixed that. So I haven't had that issue ever since then.
The problem with these companies, and I'm gonna name JBL too.
Okay.
I'm gonna name Bose and JBL. They've become so big that they don't really make the stuff in their speakers.
Okay.
They're kind of picking and choosing the amp from this guy and the woofer from that guy, you know, and then you just have interchangeable parts that can sometimes not really work together, you know. So that's sometimes what happens, and when you get and then everything gets digitally tuned, you know, right. And then that's where you get that sound. So they're not necessarily engineering the speaker from the ground up. It's more about, all right, it's gonna have these specs, and we're gonna find the product, as opposed to saying we're gonna make this speaker and we're gonna build the cabinet for it, and we're gonna build the amp. And you know, there are companies that actually make everything in the speaker.
You know what's funny? You say that, and correct me if I'm wrong, but didn't Mackie used to be that way? Like they weren't that way for the longest time, and then they kind of tried doing that for a while. They were like having their components and stuff made by other manufacturers, but then like
Mackie's factory used to be RCF.
And then didn't they like? But then didn't they do the thing where they were like sourcing parts from other places, and it really didn't work for them for a while, and then they kind of reverse course, and now they're back to like making their shit again?
I will say that there was a period of time in the middle where I saw a higher defect rate than normal.
I mean, we were talking 10 years ago, not recently.
To sell SRM at a point, you know.
This is like a long time ago, right?
Yeah, no, this is a while.
I'm like, because you know, I got an SRM coming for review in like a month.
No. I'm talking 10 years ago.
You burn us one time, and we'll we'll boycott you for life. I'm never using that brand again. If it happens once, especially during a gig, fuck you. You're dead to me. You know, that's it. No, but that's how we are, right? Are we not?
Yeah. No, you're right.
It's true.
Right.
It's true.
But I know people that are like that. Like, I'll never use Chauvet. I'll never use ADJ again. I'll never use it again. Not a problem. The problem could have been them, but it's. I understand it though completely. So anyway.
Yeah. No, I get that. But I will say this though. I still use the Bose system all the time. And one of the things that I love about it, which is, you can say this about any line array, is just the convenience of them. They're easy. Everything is already there. The small footprint for travel. It's just, it makes for a good time. And they do sound really good until they don't.
And I will say, again, I always sound so anti-Bose, but that's every speaker.
I gotta tell you, Terry,
every speaker has a limit,
Yeah.
And people need to understand. It's always about have the right tool for the job.
Listen, Terry, on a karaoke night, I also sound real good until I don't.
On that note, since you made the dad joke, usually it's me. I'm gonna say that we're gonna say goodbye. We've had Cleveland way longer than I thought we were going to. So thank you.
The wife's calling about food, so we got to
figure that out right now. Looking at your phone. I'm starting to get that feeling. So
I can smell mine in the house. My wife's definitely cooking something.
I know our audience was very happy. And to answer the JA question, I would say no more than 150. That's the sweet spot. But that's a great system. You probably see my review on that. Whoever's watching, if you have watch it, it's a pretty thorough review. I show you both. But Cleveland, any final words?
Yeah, I will say this. I use Bose. This is for anything that I ever review. I'm not a brand loyalist. If something comes out better, that's going to make me look better, that's what I'm using. When my Mac started to crash on me and I got the XMG, that's the computer that I use now. So I only want the best. So that's why Justin and I are even having this conversation. So thank you guys for having me on. I appreciate it. It was a good time. And you guys can find me on YouTube as always. I got to do a video this week about the LC6000s. That's the video that's coming out. Hopefully
that's
tonight.
A cool tool, man. I look forward to seeing that because I would like to actually, I use the Prime 4, and that's actually something you could pair with the Prime 4 and be very, very. That would be a cool addition to a Prime 4 as well as SC6000s, of course. But I'm thinking about using it just one, for other stuff. So that.
But what I'd want? I want one thing. I want one thing. Assuming they'll come out with another version of a Denon Prime, but it would be so amazing if the Denon Prime, if the LC6000s could be used with the Denon Prime Go.
Yeah, that'd be cool.
Now you have the best of both worlds.
I'm gonna ask one last question, then I'm gonna let you go.
Sure.
Because I'm gonna give you another real life story, and has this ever happened to you? Talking about the Prime Go, streaming saved the gig. I did the first time I did 2 events in a row in such a long time, and I had like 1 hour of sleep. Okay. And can you believe it? I was playing off a playlist. This little event I was doing, and then I literally forgot my USB stick. I had no other music but this guy's playlist that was only for certain parts. I'm like, holy shit! Somehow my Prime 4 was already linked to the hotspot on my phone. I don't even know how it happened. I was lucky. And I did the whole gig off of cellular data. Yeah. Where the song was ending and I'm watching the next song loading going, oh my God. Oh my God. But I got through it and nobody knew the difference. And if I didn't have that streaming and thank God I had the Beatport subscription. And if you in the title, I don't have titles. I had it for a point, but if you do, title is great too. Titles. If you have those two things, you get through any party. Yeah, title is the best all-around catalog. BeatSource is the best for getting actual crates and playlists to play. Because BeatSource they're still missing a lot of music, but they're getting better though. They are getting better. So if you have title to go along with it, you're fine. The only issue that I have with the Denon Prime Go with any engine DJ is they still have not fixed your ability
to log on to a browser-based internet node. So if you are at a hotel and then you click, oh, let me get on here. And you know, when the browser pops up saying, yeah, I understand, and you click it, you can't do that on Engine. So you can be screwed out of some things sometimes. That's it. I didn't need to fix that.
So
Switch
I worked at
Final word?
Xbox 15 years ago, and we had the exact same problem on the Xbox 360. It was the exact same problem. If you took your Xbox to a hotel or something and they had one of those like browser-based internet things where you had to like click the button to agree to not do illegal stuff on their network, then you couldn't use your Xbox because they had no way to like access the browser thing to click the OK button that you wouldn't do anything wrong on their thing. But if as far as final stuff, listen, I've been subscribed to Cleveland Terry, so if you're not subscribed to Terry on YouTube, y'all need to get up on your game because dude's reviews are straight up like some of the best on YouTube as far as DJ gear reviews.
All right, I want to review one last thing, Terry.
Real talk, man. Real talk.
Terry.
Yeah, I'm here.
We need the salsa. Let's go. Hold on. We're gonna end it with this, and I think this is because I like to have a little fun, right? We like to have a little fun. And I gotta go royalty free, but Artlist always has something for me. So hold on.
I'm an epidemic sound man myself.
You're gonna stand up and you're gonna dance us off.
While you're doing that, just another quick shout out. So Terry, I actually just followed you on Instagram. So Instagram, Cleveland Terry _. For everybody that's okay, yeah. So I just followed you there, and if y'all want to find me, you can find me at youtube.com or twitch.tv/DJSwitchPDX. You can also find me at facebook.com and instagram.com/DJSwitchPDX. If y'all want to,
I'll find you. You don't have to find me, guys. Don't worry.
I have no doubt of that. Justin, the DJ's Guru, DJEventGear.com. Dude, I'm really looking forward to my hat. I want my hat.
Still on those shout outs. I like it. This is good.
I want my hat.
Cleveland, let's see it, buddy. Is this too slow? Is this too slow?
Yeah, go ahead.
My DJ's Guru hat's coming tomorrow.
Hold on.
Let me see some moves.
Enjoy.
That's not even you.
Of course it's not me. You're not getting any of that.
He got you with the overhead camera.
I'll do it. I don't care. I always wanted to learn that salsa move. The salsa step. It is the sexiest. When a woman does that salsa step, it is the sexiest thing I've ever seen in my life.
I agree. I agree with that.
Fucking love it.
Yeah. One day. At maybe the next time we're at an expo together, Brandon, I got you, dude. I got you.
All right. Expo, all right. We're gonna be fucking salsa dancing.
Perfect.
All right, fine.
I'm pretty sure Terry just asked Brandon to dance.
I did.
I'm really good at putting people on the spot.
Just tie your beard up because I don't like beard in my face.
That's adorable.
Everybody,
but I'm here for it. I'm here for it, and I support it. I hope you two are very happy.
Everybody, thank you for tuning in. Thank you, Cleveland Terry. You're
very welcome. Thanks for having me.
And my pleasure, man. We'll definitely have you back, and I will be in touch with you about the things we've been discussing very soon. Goodbye, everybody. It was a fantastic night, and thank you, everybody, for watching. We'll see you soon. Bye-bye.